playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. On the brink of elimination in the second round NBA playoff series against the Celtics, it looks like the Cavaliers will be without injured guard Donovan Mitchell and center Jared Allen in Game 5 tonight. Neither expected to play. TNT NBA analyst Greg Anthony.
Without Mitchell and Allen, we still don't know, but more likely he does not play. Find it hard to find a scenario or formula where they're going to have a chance to extend this series. But, hey, listen, that's why we play the games, right? And you just never know.
Greg Anthony on Carlin versus Joe. Cavs guard Karis LeVert uncertain with a bone bruise in his knee. Thunder hosts the Mavericks. Game 5, 9 Eastern, ESPN Radio. That series is 2-2. Second round Stanley Cup playoffs. Stars winger Rope Hintz, upper body injury, will not play in the potential clincher against the Avalanche tonight in Game 5, 8 Eastern, ESPN. Netflix announced it will air 2 games on Christmas Day this season: Steelers, Chiefs, Ravens, Texans, and at least one Christmas Day game in each of the next 2 years. The full NFL regular season schedule unveiled 8 Eastern tonight, ESPN 2.
As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Sir. And Mr. Toby Tom play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Ran out of steam there, Muse.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Drink some water.
What's that?
Said drink some water.
Oh. Well, I don't want to open up my... It's a prop. I mean, it's actual Evermore water, but it's a prop. I don't want to open it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
The Saints schedule going to be released tonight. Except we already know it.
It's hump day.
All you sneaky leakies out there.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Will LSU play all home night games this year?
Hump day.
I think so.
It's hump day.
I'll explain coming up.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Taylor Calandro.
Hump day.
Our guy, Chris Marler, a.k.a. Vern Funquist. He's here next hour.
It's hump day.
And the reason he's going to be here is Absolutely nothing to do with sports whatsoever.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It might be pretty funny.
Hump
Are you
day.
ready for that, Muse?
Yes.
It's hump
We're
day.
ready to go.
We are ready to go.
Mike. What
you
day is it,
okay?
Mike?
I actually might add a little bit more to it,
Okay.
but we have enough to go if not.
Okay.
Hump day.
Chase Parham next hour talks some LSU-Ole Miss baseball.
It's hump
Cole
day.
Cubelic, hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, we got a ton to do. Let us get rolling. We begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, tonight, the NFL is going to release the full 2024 schedule. They've been dropping little bread crumbs along the path here these past few days. And with the NFL schedule set to be released tonight, there are always leaks. And as we sit here at 3:04 p.m. Central Time and the full schedule not to be released for another 4 hours or so, you better believe we already got the entire thing. So we'll run through it, and I'll give you some of my takeaways. Muse, give me some NFL schedule leak takeaway music. I like that one. Prime time.
Well, no, you can't do the voice for NFL primetime.
No, that was Boomer.
Okay.
That wasn't John Facenda.
Okay. They
That was
sounded
when
similar,
Chris
I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's because I can't go to the depths of the baritone voice that John Facenda does.
Yeah.
It was like Boomer trying to imitate John Facenda.
All right.
Me imitating Boomer, imitating John Facenda is what that was.
Love it.
This was caffeine-free Diet Coke is what this was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's Coke.
Yeah.
And then, like, Boomer would have been Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And then I'm caffeine-free Diet Coke, imitating Boomer, imitating John Facenda. Make sense?
Yeah.
Got it. Let's go. Okay, Saints. By the way, hat tip to John Hendricks. I know there's a lot of people who have had a lot of the leaks. John is the one who I saw over at Saints News Network compile everything all in one. So I'll give the hat tip to John Hendricks here. And to those who also had it, my apologies if I missed you here. So let's start it off here. Week 1, the Saints are going to open up in the Dome September the 8th against the Carolina Panthers. I love that. Panthers will likely be the worst team in the NFL again, and so you get an opportunity to open up your season with a win. Then week 2, you're on the road at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure how I feel about that in total. Cowboys are a really good team, obviously. You got a good quarterback in Dak. It's an early season road game, and then followed up by a home game against Philly. It's very likely, I think, the Saints open up the season at 1-2. Any disagreement there?
No disagreement.
All right, then you're at Atlanta. So you're home, road, but you go at Atlanta. So it'll be the Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr duel there in week 4. And I think that's going to be pretty symbolic of how the division's going to go. Yes, Tampa is the reigning division champion. However, all of the odds right now are on Atlanta to win the division. And I think the Saints and Atlanta each having tied for the easiest schedule in the NFL. That head-to-head matchup there in Atlanta is going to be pivotal because I think the Saints will have a great chance to win the one in the Dome. More on that here in just a little bit. The first real big spot on the schedule comes week 5, October the 7th, Monday Night Football, the Saints at the defending champion Chiefs. One of the things we always talk about with schedules, not just who you play, but when and where you play them. That matters. And obviously, we watched a playoff game in Kansas City this year where Patrick Mahomes' helmet quite literally cracked in half. Well, not in half, but there was like a big chunk of it that froze and broke off when he got hit. So if you get to play October the 7th at Arrowhead, and yes, Monday Night Football, prime time, it'll be a lubed-up crowd, I'd rather October 7th than the end of December. Put it to you that way. Saints come home for a couple of games, Bucks, and then the short week, I always look at where their Thursday Night Football game is, and this is one, those NFL execs, my goodness, do they know how to schedule them. They have the Saints taking on the Denver Broncos at home October the 17th, week 7. And, of course, that means Sean Payton returning to the Dome. So it'll be a short week, but you're at home on a short week. We've gone through the numbers over the years. Teams that travel on Thursday night on the short week are at a decided disadvantage. So for the Saints, they're at home on Thursday Night Football, and that'll be the return of Sean Payton in the Dome. Then It's back-to-back road games. Notice I haven't gotten to the bye yet, and that's a little sticking point that I have with this schedule. You're at the Chargers, so you'll go see Jim Harbaugh out at SoFi in the Chargers, and then you go back across the country to Carolina. I hate that spot. Cross-country travel in consecutive weeks is brutal. To go from New Orleans all the way out to L.A. Now, the good news there is you play Thursday night the week before, so you have a little mini bye there from Thursday before you go to the Chargers. But you fly to L.A., then you'll fly home, then you'll fly to Carolina, fly home again before you get a couple of home games against the Falcons, the Browns, and then finally, November 24th, Week 12 is your bye. There's always this conundrum. Where do you want the bye to fall? And ideally, it's not so late in the season that it's not even really worth it, and it's not so early in the season that you end up playing a dozen consecutive weeks of football. But that's what the Saints are facing. They're going to end up playing 11 consecutive weeks before they get the bye in Week 12. It's not the best spot on the schedule, but it's also not the worst spot on the schedule. I still would rather have it well before Thanksgiving, but that's where the bye falls there on November the 12th. Calendar flips to December, and the Saints will step out of the division home against the Rams. Then they're at the Giants on December 8th. You have a possibility of that being a cold weather game. Back home against the Commanders, so Jaden Daniels will come to the Dome in his rookie season. And then the other one that you'd probably circle is this stretch right here. Week 16, the Saints are at Green Bay on Monday Night Football. December 23rd on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. How was it, Muse?
That was good.
Better?
Better.
What if I hold, the New Orleans Saints will travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Yeah, it muffles it a little bit, makes it deeper. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
We get a little bit of the reverb when you cut the mic. That's what you get. So that sucks. It's going to be freezing. The only thing that gives me any confidence there is the fact that a couple of years ago, the Saints went to Philly and to Cleveland in consecutive weeks in cold weather games. Now, you faced Cleveland without Deshaun Watson, but if you remember that game, it was single-digit temps, and the Saints won it 13-10 or something like that. It was a miserable football game, but they did go on the road and win. How effective is Jordan Love? Year 2 as a full-time starter. We'll see all that stuff. But the Saints, week 16, Monday Night Football at the Packers. Short week, you come home to take on the Raiders. So Derek Carr will face his former team in the Dome, and then you finish up week 18 at Tampa against the Bucs. So just a few of my takeaways overall. Opening up against Carolina, I like that. You get a chance for a win. Monday Night Football at Kansas City. I like that it's early in the season. Never going to be easy to go play at Lambeau. Hate that it's primetime, but I'd rather it early in the season. Sean Payton coming to the Dome on Thursday Night Football. Your bye's all the way in Week 12. And then that sequence there late in the season where Week 15, Jaden Daniels comes to the Dome. Week 16, you're at the Packers on December 23rd. It's going to be freezing. Short week, you're home against the Raiders and Derek Carr's former team. And then, who knows, maybe Week 18, a game for the division with the Saints at Tampa. Muse, you got any takeaways? Anything stand out?
The Sean Payton thing's obviously interesting. You mentioned the spot on the schedule. I was actually surprised they put that on a Thursday night. I thought that might have been one of the potential Monday night spots for that game. Just Thursday Night Football is not normally pretty, and I figured they would really want a huge stage for that. So I think
that's a bigger deal here than it is nationally.
That's fair.
I don't think the rest of the league actually cares about Sean Payton coming back to New Orleans. I mean, obviously it's a thing, which is why they put it in one of the primetime slots, but it doesn't even come close to say if Aaron Rodgers were playing the Packers, when Tom Brady went back and played in New England for the first time. I think there's some of those that are going to garner more attention, but Sean Payton is a Super Bowl winning coach, and it was a big deal when he came out of retirement. I just don't know that that's the game. That'll be the storyline, but I don't know that that's the game that they're looking at. I mean, who's going to play? I mean, is Bo Nix going to be the starting for
that's
Denver?
That's
going to be a hideous football game no matter where you play it.
That's fair. The other thing would be it feels pretty front-loaded. I mean, Cowboys, Eagles, Falcons, Chiefs, Bucks all in a row in the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean, that could go bad. That could go very bad for them.
And after Thursday Night Football, you got to go. I mentioned then that's where you have the spot where it's back-to-back cross-country, where you go Chargers, Panthers. So it does lighten up late, with the exception of having to go to Green Bay there, Week 16. But you're right. I mean, it is a front-loaded schedule here, and Week 12 bye is not really a great spot for the bye. All right, they'll officially release the schedule later tonight, but there you have it. It's already been leaked. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Hey, it is on. It is official. Starting next week on Monday, we're going to start telling you how you can enter. So make sure you're tuned in. Starting Monday, we're going to tell you how you can enter to win one of the 8 spots for our UFC 302 watch party at the Sportsbook at L'Auberge with our friends at Marler Beverage and Bud Light. It's going to be an awesome time. I'll be there the entire time. Start at 7 o'clock with the ESPN2 prelims all the way through the main event with Poirier against Makhachev. I mean, this is Dustin the Diamond Poirier. You have a chance to watch the fights at the Sportsbook at L'Auberge. If you're one of our 8 winners, you get to bring 2 guests. You will have a wristband that gets you all the Bud Light you can drink all night long and catered food all night long, and you get a designated spot at one of the tables in front of the big screen. So excited about this. We'll start taking entrants on Monday, and we'll announce our winners on Thursday of next week before the fight. So we're really looking forward to that. So we'll start taking entrants on, forgive me, I'm a week ahead, on Monday the 20th. So this coming Monday, we'll start taking entrants, and then we'll announce the winners on Thursday the 30th. So you'll have a couple of days notice if you win before the fights on Saturday, June 1st. So really excited about that. All right, a drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Okay, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back. Speaking of schedules, the SEC on ABC leaked a few more game times today, and I shouldn't say leaked, announced a few more game times this week. And it got me thinking that LSU may end up playing an entire slate of night games in Tiger Stadium. I'll explain what I mean next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources. They're online at glowresources.com, G-L-O, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. You know, if you're a business owner, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about construction, whatever, skilled blue-collar labor, all the way up to white-collar, C-level management, Glow Resources can help. And probably you've run into issues when you've had let's say you've had employees that don't show up for whatever reason. Their car broke down. We've heard the reasoning or the excuses before. My wife's giving birth. My partner's giving birth. Maybe you got jury duty, you got a court date, whatever the case may be. One of the things Glow Resources does so exceptionally well is when they're screening employees on the front end, they check for things like upcoming appointments. Do you have reliable transportation? Do you have the physical requirements to meet the capabilities of the job, which eliminate a lot of those unexpected absences? They think of everything. It's Glow Resources. GlowResources.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks
have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Go around the SEC here in about 15 minutes. Dabo stepping in it again. Some interesting conversations about... I want to delve into, at the start of next hour as well, a conversation about Derek Carr's future in New Orleans, Spencer Rattler, and kind of give you some perspective on the decision, however this season goes, the Saints are going to have to make about Derek Carr financially, et cetera. We'll get into all that. You'll understand here at the top of hour 2. So today, the SEC on ABC released a few more kickoff times for this coming football season. And I always find this interesting because every year I would do this exercise where, we'd wait to see some of the early season releases. And the reason is because a lot of times whenever you find, when you're given certain pieces of the puzzle, it's like getting the corner pieces or like a key piece of the key image, and then you can start to build around it. For example, for years and years and years, we'd always look. Remember, when it was both ESPN, ABC, and then also CBS with the 2:30 game, remember part of that contract was that CBS got 2 doubleheaders on the course of the schedule. One was an 11 a.m. 2:30 doubleheader, and the other was a 2:30, 7 o'clock primetime doubleheader. We all know what I'm talking about here. But while they never announced the games at the beginning of the season, what they did have to announce was the date. So, for example, if CBS knew they were going to make LSU-Bama their night game, they would say that first Saturday in November they were earmarking as their day-night doubleheader. They had to declare that at the beginning of the season. So today, I looked at the 6 games that the SEC on ABC released. And one of them is Georgia at Alabama, and this is no surprise. Georgia at Alabama, Saturday, September the 28th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central. And so my brain immediately goes to, that's their primetime game. That's the one that they picked for primetime. And then I'm like, wait a minute. They're also going to have a day-night doubleheader on the 14th, where Texas A&M at Florida is going to be a 3:30 or 2:30 Central game, and then Georgia at Kentucky is going to be the night game on ABC. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And then there's Saturday, September the 7th, and we know that that's going to be, the opening weekend when they do the triple header and all that stuff. And I'm looking at that going, and then of course the cocktail party, Florida Georgia is going to be the 3:30 game on November the 2nd, and it kind of dawned on me, and maybe like you've already come to this conclusion, so forgive me if you have, and I'm just coming to this realization. I think LSU is going to end up playing all of their home games at night this year. And just, that's not a guarantee, and I haven't asked anybody this, and maybe I should have before I'm having this conversation, but what I was always told was, with respect to CBS and the 2:30 game and all that stuff, was that CBS wanted a game in Tiger Stadium every year. They wanted to be in Tiger Stadium at least once every year. Now, on years where LSU-Bama was the night game in primetime, that was easy. It sort of fulfilled that obligation, and you got to have the night game. Except in years when LSU was really good, obviously CBS was going to want to be here more often, and they were going to put LSU in that 2:30 slot. Well, now that CBS is out of the picture and ESPN, ABC have the entire SEC slate, there's nothing to stop the network from putting every game in primetime. Now, one of the things that I know happened, especially when the league expanded and when LSU and Arkansas got moved off that Thanksgiving date, which, of course, they wanted. And if we go back to all the hullabaloo over the Hurricane Matthew stuff, one of the things that Joe Oliva, when he was the athletic director, went to the league office and lobbied for was LSU to have night games. So, look, if everybody else gets to honor their tradition, right, as you change the format, and you're changing the format to make sure that Bama and Auburn still get to play, and you maintain the Deep South's oldest rivalry with Georgia and Auburn, all this stuff, and Tennessee and Bama want to play every year because it was their tradition. The thing that Joe Oliva went to the league and lobbied for and said, well, that's fine. Our tradition is we play night games at home, and we want night games. And so the league and their partners made a commitment to give LSU as many night games in Tiger Stadium as possible, like if there was ever a tie. But the sort of the concession was CBS always wanted at least one game in Tiger Stadium. There was going to be years where that fell as a 2:30 game. Now, there were also years where LSU just wasn't very good, and you ended up with games at 11 a.m., or the opponent you played was awful, and so it just was slotted at 11 a.m., and we've seen our fair share of those. But there's no reason now why, when the SEC and when ESPN and ABC will have primetime games on ABC, on ESPN, and on the SEC network to fill. I mean, you're going to be filling 3 games in all 3 slots. There's no reason why, even if it's SEC, if it's not a marquee home game for LSU this year, there's no reason why that couldn't slot on the SEC network in that primetime slot. It used to be that they didn't want, or you couldn't air a game opposite that marquee game at 2:30. Well, now you're talking about you don't have that obstacle. So I don't see any reason why, as I look through the schedule, I would think in my brain, okay, what games would you want, like would the network certainly want in primetime? Well, obviously you want Alabama in primetime. Georgia-Ole Miss is also that day on November the 9th. So, maybe that's one where you'd look and say, look, Texas is playing Florida that day, although I don't know that Florida's going to be any good. But there's nothing to say that one of those games, for example, Texas or Ole Miss and Georgia could be on ABC and LSU-Bama could be on ESPN, or you flip it there. I look at LSU-Ole Miss, which is one that we're all certainly pointing at there on October the 12th as a key game for LSU this year. Why that couldn't be a primetime game when you look at the rest of the SEC slate. Tennessee, Florida is also that day. That's traditionally been a day game, but there's no reason why you couldn't put both LSU, Ole Miss, and Tennessee, Georgia in primetime on different networks. So as I look through, Oklahoma, Texas is also that day, and I'm certain they'll maintain their traditional slot at 11 a.m. Central Time. So I guess my point is, when I look at this slate, I don't see any reason to think that LSU would play a day game this year. The non-conference games most certainly are going to be night games, even if some of them fall on ESPN Plus. If the Nichols game or whatever might fall on Plus. We know Southern Cal is going to be a night game, but that's on the road. UCLA in Baton Rouge, that's a pretty marquee non-conference game. And when you look at the rest of the slate that weekend, you've got Auburn and Arkansas, Mississippi State and Florida, and Tennessee, Oklahoma. That's really it in the league that day. So I would think that certainly on one of the 3 networks that LSU, UCLA will be a night game. And I think that's awesome. As LSU fans, that's the thing we've always coveted and wanted to see, was LSU play night games. And I feel like there's been a lot of times. And I know that LSU's record in 2:30 games has been pretty good at home because Tiger Stadium's a hard place to play either way. In general, if you're playing 2:30, it's because LSU's pretty good. And so they win a lot of those. But the tradition of the night game, the day long of tailgating, what it means for how we schedule things here, and it is LSU's tradition. I think the networks and the league are likely going to be able to honor that. And it's the first time I really came to that realization today, and y'all might have talked about it before, but I think there's a real legit possibility that we see that this year, that we see LSU play a full slate of home night games, which would be awesome. Not to have to rub the crust out of your eyes at 11 a.m. for a kickoff or be saddled at 2:30 game when it's 100 degrees outside. So we'll know as we obviously move more and more through the schedule, but that's something that I would think Scott Woodward would have a very strong lobbying chip in his hand, a bargaining chip to go lobby with the league to say, you have enough networks now, put all of our games in primetime across one of your networks. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Y'all, we're getting close to vacation season. If some of y'all aren't already taking vacation, it's May the 15th. School's letting out soon. You know you're going to be heading to the beach. We've got Memorial Day weekend coming up soon. Of course, a lot of people celebrate Memorial Day and do that by celebrating with family and maybe the beach or along the Gulf. If you're going to hit the road, make sure you go to Shaw Bills first. If you're looking to buy tires, name brand tires at wholesale prices, that's where you get them, at Shaw Bills. As a matter of fact, they guarantee it. Buy tires at Shaw Bills, find them advertised somewhere cheaper, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. Like, you literally will not find these tires cheaper anywhere else than Shaw Bills. But the real key is that when you're there, they treat you like family, so you keep coming back year after year after year, whether it's oil change, tire rotations, your brakes are squeaking, whatever it may be. You want Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. We will get to sports or Pluckers trivia in hour 3. Cole Cubelic will be here in hour 3. Give us some takeaways from the league coming through spring and now through the spring portal window. Who got better? Who maybe took a step back? We'll talk about that with Cole coming up in hour 3. And we'll take a little deeper dive on the Ole Miss Rebels as they come into the box, start a 3-game series on Thursday. Chase Parham, our buddy from Rebel Grove, will be here in 1 hour from right now. Give us a closer look at Mike Bianco's squad. We'll not got a break. We'll go around the SEC. Dabo sticking his foot in his mouth. Again, Taylor Calandro answering your booze questions in 15 minutes. Ton to do. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. Tell you every single day, 2 amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown and the Renaissance Southtown. If you are thinking about hosting an event, the Watermark is a great location. Downtown Baton Rouge, as I tell you all the time, Baton Rouge's original high-rise building. It was the Louisiana National Bank building, and they've maintained so much of the integrity, the historical integrity of that building. If you've never been in it, it's worth it if you're downtown just to take a stroll through the lobby and check out some of the marble and the architecture and the paintings and see the history of the building. It's awesome. So if you want to have small gatherings there, you want to have a wedding reception, you can do it downtown. Remember, the Watermark Hotel. Also, of course, the Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. 2 amazing hotel properties, same ownership group. The Renaissance on Bluebonnet across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. They can host events up to 500 people. Tell you all the time about Tallulah right there in the lobby of the Renaissance. Whatever you do, downtown or Southtown, the Watermark and the Renaissance.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
The ACC spring meetings are going on right now, and Clemson did not sign a single player out of the transfer portal. I know that's going to stun you. Dabo was asked about that, and he stepped in it again.
Well, it wasn't really necessarily like a intentional thing. There's a couple guys we looked at, but they got to love you too.
But it also tells us you like where you're at. You like.
Yeah, that's what people. That's the other part of it. And honestly, every player is technically a transfer. We just signed a whole class of guys transferring from high school. So we like our guys.
Oh my God. I mean, I need to give some thought to this. Maybe you can help me. Has there been a time in sports where someone, a coach, a player, at whatever level, they allowed a dynasty to erode because of their unwillingness to change? Look, we've seen coaches' unwillingness to change. Les Miles was a case in point of that. His unwillingness and inability to evolve offensively ultimately cost him his job. There are examples of that. It's the old adage, well, the game passed him by. That's what that means. You just didn't evolve and change. That happens all the time. But the crazy thing is, do you realize Clemson was in the national championship game 4 times in 5 years? I'm not just talking about like a playoff berth. Oklahoma's had a lot of playoff berths. They can't win a playoff game. Clemson was in the national championship game 4 out of 5 years and won 2 of them. In the last 4 years, they were 10-2 and lost the Sugar Bowl in the COVID year. They were 10-3 and won the Cheez-It Bowl. In 22, they went 11-3. Everybody thought that maybe it was a little bit of a bounce back. They went to the Orange Bowl and lost. And then last year, they went 9-4. Went to the Gator Bowl. So they were 8-4 and won the Gator Bowl to finish with 9 wins. I mean, a dynasty has eroded. 4 championship game appearances in 5 years. They went 2-2 in those. They won 2 national championships. I mean, they were the team that was threatening to unseat Alabama as the preeminent power in college football. And Dabo, amid this change, said, we're not doing NIL. We're not doing transfer portal. We're going to keep doing what we do. And Georgia said, thank you very much. We'll take that throne. It's unimaginable Because if ever there was a program at a time that had the equity built up to get whatever you wanted, it was Clemson and Dabo Swinney at that moment. You've gone to 4 national championship games in 5 years. You had everything to sell to any transfer, any recruit. Every single booster who is, when you have seen the view from the top of the mountain, you don't want to go back down. Like when you've had courtside seats, feet on wood, you don't want to go back up to the 300 level. You want to stay right where you are. And you'll do every damn thing you need to do to stay there. So those boosters would give him whatever he wants. He just refuses to do it. It's going to cost him his job. Dabo Swinney feels invincible, but his unwillingness to evolve is going to cost him his job. And I don't care. I don't care one iota about Clemson. The only degree to which I care about Clemson is the degree to which their success or failure affects LSU. So if they want to go and let their program erode, and that's one less power team atop college football, fighting for the best talent and transfer and NIL and all that stuff, great. It's just unimaginable that his stubbornness, he is willingly allowing his dynasty to erode and his legacy to be tarnished. Instead of going out on his own terms, he will be fired at Clemson. Dabo Swinney will be fired at Clemson. I'm not saying it's this year. I'm just saying the same way that Les Miles was fired, the same way that Mac Brown was fired at Texas, and yes, Mac Brown was fired at Texas, like, it's going to happen to Dabo Swinney as well because of his own silly, stubborn unwillingness to evolve. It's just a bizarre thing to see. If you got an example, I'm serious. Let me know. I'd be fascinated to know if there's anyone that pops in your mind. Okay, I'm going to go around the SEC, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. I went and picked Drew up from school today in my Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Drove him over to Erica, doing a little shuffling of parental duties. So I went and picked Drew up from school, brought him to Erica, pulled up right next to her Volkswagen Atlas. I have a black Atlas Cross Sport. She has the white Volkswagen Atlas 2024. Hers is fire. I'm not going to lie to you. They're all great, but you get the newest model, man, all the different style. The LED lights on the interior, they light up purple. So at night when it's dark, you got all these purple LED lights lit up inside the car. It looks so fine. Anyway, test drive one today. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
Former Colorado cornerback Cormani McClain is transferring to Florida. He was the number 14 recruit in the country for 2023. He's a Lakeland, Florida native, so he's heading back to his home state. Started just 4 games for the Buffs, appeared in 9, hit the transfer portal. McClain will have 3 years of eligibility remaining.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vandy has landed a transfer commitment from New Mexico State tight end Eli Stowers. You recognize that name? You might remember Eli Stowers began his career as a 4-star quarterback at Texas A&M. Never made it as a quarterback, transferred to New Mexico State. They converted him to tight end. Now he's headed to Nashville, where their offensive coordinator is Tim Beck, who is the head coach at New Mexico State, who recruited him there and converted him to a tight end. Only 2 other tight ends on the roster right now for the Commodores: sophomore Cameron Johnson and JUCO transfer Tyler Fortenberry.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky's added Tennessee Martin punter Aiden LaRose. He was the FCS Punter of the Year and a first-team All-America last season at UT Martin. Averaged 47.5 yards a punt. Originally from Cape Town, South Africa, LaRose moved to the United States as a freshman in high school.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And Dave Van Horn is shuffling his pitching rotation this weekend for the final series of the regular season against Texas A&M. Hagen Smith will start the opener as he has all year. Gage Wood will start game 2 on Friday. He's been out of the bullpen mostly twice last weekend. Brady Tigert, who had been the game 2 starter, he's really struggled back-to-back weeks where he's gone 3 innings or less. So they're bumping him right now. So Gage Wood will start game 2, and then series finale game 3 TBA. Okay, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Remember, Trivia Night at Pluckers every Wednesday, 7:30, Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock. Nicholson, get on by tonight. Test your knowledge, win some Pluckers gift cards. Okay, Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro to wrap up hour number 1 next. Got booze questions? Get them in now. Email us, tweet us, text us. Bourbon Dictionary next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Action Industries. 42 years, a proud partner of LSU Athletics, serving the petrochemical and refinery markets in our whole area. 2 physical locations there of Action Industries. The one in Geismar is the one I would highly recommend if you're looking to go by and visit. They're right there on Highway 30 in Geismar. It's Action Industries. You can check out the website, actionindinc.com. You can learn more about them. You can see all the services they provide if you just hit the links right there at the top of the page. Great informational resource there for you there. Actually, right on the homepage, if you click where it says Learn More, it tells you all about the services that they provide at Action Industries. They also offer, among all the commercial contractor work, fabrication shop services, pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels. They also offer exchanger tube cleaning. It's a vapor abrasive blasting technology. Check it out. Learn more at Action Industries.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's do it. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text your question in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor Calandro joins us. How are you, dude?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
Doing well, as always. Start as we do. What's new?
I talked to my Gnarly Barley beer rep today, and we're getting coconut juice for in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if you've ever had coconut juice for.
No.
It is fantastic. It's one of my favorite local IPAs that gets released every year. So that should be in the next couple of weeks. And over the weekend, I tried a new tequila. It was Fino Roble Partita Cristalino Reposado. I know it's a lot.
Spell it.
Partita.
Say it again.
Fino Roble, Fino Roble, Partita, Partida, and it was Cristalino Reposado. Anyway, I had it over the weekend. It was really, really good. It's a higher end Cristalino. If you're not familiar with Cristalinos, they're either Reposado or Añejo, and the color's filtered out, and kind of gives them a little more approachable taste profile, so they're a little more versatile. It's really good, but it's about $130.
Okay. Get your questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us. Lots of ways you can get your questions in. Hey, there was remind me, wasn't there like a grapefruit juicifer or something like that?
Yes, that's one of the ones. I don't know if that's year-round or not. No, I don't think it is year-round. But, yes, they do grapefruit juice for. The coconut is my favorite iteration of juice for, and they only do it one time a year, I'm pretty sure. So
good to know. I'll make sure I score it. All right, let's get to questions. You know how to get your questions in. You can ask Taylor any booze question you got. Let's start with one from Ty, who said, ask Taylor any Ardbeg 10 in stock. What's Ardbeg 10?
Ardbeg.
Ardbeg?
Yeah.
He said
Ardbeg 10 is, yeah. Ardbeg 10 is an Islay scotch, so really something that you would really not enjoy. Super smoky, super peaty, and especially a younger Islay, Islay. Younger Isleys tend to be very abrasive, especially Ardbeg. So, but yes, we do have it in stock.
What would be so for my own edification, what would be I'm going to write this down, I'm going to go buy a bottle, and I'm going to try it. You know my sensibilities as well as anybody. What would be something you think a scotch that you think I would enjoy?
Oh, it would have to be like a Highland or a Speyside. So, you need to try Balvenie 14 rum cask finish. It's going to be a little sweeter because of the rum, obviously.
Yep.
But it's not going to be super, super heavy on the peat or the smoke. That's why Speysides and Highlands are a lot more agreeable with the large majority of people. But that one specifically, just because it is a little bit sweeter and it's very popular too. But I think you might actually like that.
What's that retail for?
Man, I'm trying to remember.
Are we talking 50, 100, 125?
In the 100-ish range, in between 100 and 130, I think.
Okay.
The prices of scotch they've just been crazy.
I get it. All right.
Yep.
We'll give it a go. All right. Eric Stokes said, ask Taylor, do y'all carry Pantalones tequila? I'm trying to get off bourbon, he says.
Pantalones? No, we do not.
I don't even know what that is. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not. I know that's pants in Spanish.
It is pants in Spanish. That's how that goes.
How about
that? Good job on that one. All right. Text your questions.
Shout out Capica.
I know. How about that? Chris said, wait, sorry. I lost my place on this text line. My apologies. Let's see. 5 must-have ingredients. This is from Tyler. 5 must-have ingredients or equipment for a bourbon cocktail bar. That's a good question.
You got to have simple syrup. You got to have good cherries, such as like Luxardos or trying to think of another brand, but Luxardo.
Everybody uses Luxardo, yeah.
Yeah. Some good versatile bitters like Angostura, old-fashioned bitters, maybe some orange bitters, and trying to think what else. Maybe a bottle of Herb Saint.
Well, if you want to make a Sazerac cocktail, you better have some Herb Saint. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Nick said, ask Taylor, best bourbon to drink, best bourbon drink besides an old-fashioned or a Manhattan. Bourbon cocktail or whiskey cocktail.
Oh, man. I like bourbon just as it is for the most part. If I had a cocktail over the weekend that was like a mint julep-ish. There was a lot more citrus. They added lemon to it. I really enjoy that. And if I had to pick, it'd probably be a mint julep.
Yeah, I wrote down two. I wrote down the Sazerac cocktail and the mint julep. If you're not going to drink an old-fashioned or Manhattan, and I don't really love a Manhattan, but I would take Sazerac and mint julep. I think both are
I'm
great.
a huge mint fan,
Yeah,
so
great.
I'm super biased about that.
By the way, Ty, who asked about the Ardbeg, said, I hated Scotch my entire life until I tried an Islay. Changed my whole world.
That is wild to me because that is like so far on the opposite end of a Scotch that you would just pick up and drink and enjoy.
Why?
It's like I said, it's very, very. Islays are generally very smoky, very peaty. It takes a little while to acquire. I have met people though that have drank them and instantly liked them. So I think they're kind of polarizing. For the most part, I think you have to get used to them. I have met a couple folks that have drank them and instantly liked them, but that is not a normal thing.
Let's see. We got 1 minute. Ask Taylor, best tequila for a margarita. That's from Josh.
Best tequila, if you want to get a little higher end, and I recommend that because better liquor makes better cocktails, including margaritas. How about Siete Legua?
Siete Legua. I like it. Ask Taylor, Sam, ask Taylor thoughts on Russell's 13.
I love Russell's 13. I think it was the third batch. It wasn't as good as the batch one that I had, the first batch. It's still great. It's still very hard to get. I love it. If you can find it, pick it up.
He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's, joining us every Wednesday here for a little Bourbon Dictionary on a Whiskey Wednesday. Thanks, dude.
All right, man. See you.
All right, man. Have a great one. It's after further review. We'll grab SportsCenter here, kick off hour number 2. A little Saints quarterback conversation. I think you'll find interesting.
AFR.
GeneratorPeople.com, 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 GeneratorPeople.com. That's all you need to remember. Just 2 words, Generator People, and then the .com part of it as well. That's where you'll find Optimize, Louisiana's #1 Generac automatic home standby generator dealer. So easy to work with, man. Go to GeneratorPeople.com. You can fill out the form right there on the homepage. They'll be in touch. Super responsive. They got an incredible team. And one of the things that makes Optimize Louisiana's #1 Generac automatic home standby generator dealer. And by the way, that's objective. Like they literally won the award as the #1 Generac dealer in the state of Louisiana. It's because it's all they do. They're not an electrical company that does a dozen different things, and one of them happens to be generators. They're not an HVAC company that also installs generators. No, all they do is sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators. So that's what their technicians work on all day long as well. They're just the best. Remember that website, GeneratorPeople.com.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Astros pitcher Ronel Blanco suspended 10 games by Major League Baseball for having a foreign substance on his glove last night. He denied using an illegal substance. The suspension begins tonight unless Blanco appeals. 2 NFL games will air on Netflix Christmas Day 2024. Defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs at the Steelers and the Ravens face the Texans. ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
Some marquee attractions. I think if you're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to get your money's worth on Christmas. If people are going to pay for a streaming service, they're going to want good, attractive matchups. Yeah. And the NFL is giving Netflix some marquee matchups on Christmas Day.
The matchup's part of a new deal that will also see at least one game on Netflix on Christmas each of the next 2 years. The full NFL regular season released tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN2. Injured Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell, center Jarrett Allen not expected to play in a must-win in Game 5 of the second-round NBA playoff series against the Celtics tonight. Mavericks Thunder Game 5 tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Series is tied up at 2 games apiece.
Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. That's Barbasol Shaving Cream, an American classic for over 100 years. Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Used to. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Chase Parham, bottom of this hour, we'll talk a little LSU-Ole Miss. He covers Ole Miss for Rebel Grove. Does an awesome job on all sports, but on baseball as well. So excited to have Chase here. Get a little closer point of view on the Rebs as they come to Baton Rouge with a ton on the line, man. Obviously, Ole Miss is 1 game ahead of LSU in the standings. They're at 11 league wins. LSU's at 10, and it's plausible if LSU wins 2 out of 3 this week, and they're both sitting there at 12 league wins. Are they both on the outside looking in? Mentioned this a couple times. In this format, you've not had a team at 12 and 18 get into the field, into the regional field. So, there's history both these teams are fighting against, a lot on the line this weekend. So we'll talk to Chase Parham here in about 30 minutes from right now. It's always interesting post-draft and certainly free agency when content creators start looking at different angles. And one of the things that Dan Graziano did over at ESPN was he said, he looked at lingering quarterback questions for all 32 NFL teams. And for New Orleans, I don't know, maybe it doesn't feel like there are any quarterback questions. I mean, we know Derek Carr is the starting quarterback, and we'll see who ultimately wins the backup job. But he asked the question, is the clock ticking on Derek Carr's time in New Orleans? And he mentioned the deal that Derek Carr did a year ago, and with the way they restructured Derek Carr's deal, he carries a $50 million dead cap number in 2025, meaning if the Saints were to move on from Derek Carr after this season, he would count $50 million against the cap in 2025 to not be on the roster. It's why you've heard me pretty consistently say that Derek Carr, the Saints are financially committed to Derek Carr for the next 2 years. My apologies, sorry. But what was interesting to me is I started to think about this in terms of, okay, let's say hypothetically the Saints had a situation arise like what happened in San Francisco, where your seventh-round pick quarterback, Brock Purdy, emerges and proves to be not only a competent starter, but a really good starter. And even though you got free agent dollars tied into Jimmy Garoppolo and a top 5 overall pick in a Trey Lance, they moved on from those two guys because they had their quarterback on a really team-friendly rookie deal. It's a seventh-round pick. Guy's making less than $1 million a year. And you feel like you got your franchise. So, I mean, I guess a scenario like that could unfold. Let's say, hypothetically, Spencer Rattler blows everybody out of the water. Or Jake Haener takes a massive leap in year 2. I don't think any of us are predicting that to happen right now, but let's say hypothetically it does. Then you have this conversation. But what was so interesting to me is I remember a couple of years ago, it was 2021, when the Eagles decided to move on from Carson Wentz. And it was a similar situation, as you recall. Wentz was on his way to what appeared to be an MVP season. He gets hurt. Nick Foles leads them to the Super Bowl. The Eagles have to make a decision. They decide to invest the money in Carson Wentz and not Nick Foles, and that ended up proving to be a poor decision. And a couple of years later, of course, they draft Jalen Hurts, and Hurts becomes their starter. And when they got rid of Carson Wentz, the Eagles, they ate $33 million in dead money, which at the time was the largest dead cap hit ever. So again, this is 2021. This is just 2 full seasons ago, so 3 years. That was the largest dead cap hit ever. By the way, the previous largest dead cap hit ever was Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks in this would have been, let's see, he signed the contract. So 2020, Brandon Cooks, when the Rams let him go, ate $21.8 million. So keep in mind, Brandon Cooks' $21.8 million dead money was the most dead money ever. A year later, the Eagles eat $33.8 million in dead money from Carson Wentz. And it felt like this almost unimaginable number. But since then, that number has been beaten 3 times. The Carson Wentz $33.8 million dead cap number is only the 4th highest dead cap number ever. Wentz at 33.8. The Packers ate $40.3 million on Aaron Rodgers. Matt Ryan's deal with the Colts, they ended up eating $40.53 million. And then, of course, Russell Wilson and the Broncos just ate $85 million on Russell Wilson's deal. And what's more, as I look at all of these deals, where you look at the most dead cap money ever, Stephon Diggs, this was just this year, $31 million. Now, the Russell Wilson deal from Seattle was $26 million. Julio Jones, back in 2021, $23 million. DeAndre Hopkins, His contract was set to run through 2024, $22.6 million. Jared Goff, his dead number with the Rams at $22 million, and there's the Brandon Cooks deal I mentioned. That's your top 10 biggest dead cap hits in NFL history. My point is, all of them are in the last 5 years. And I get it, contracts are increasing. So when you get rid of players, you're going to take largely the way it's structured, a higher dead cap number. My point is, even the one 2 years ago, 2 full seasons ago, 3 years ago, Carson Wentz, that was this almost inexplicable. It beat the previous dead cap number by $10 million. It was insane when we talked about it. That's been beaten now 3 times. My point is, in saying all this, I've continued to say the Saints are pot committed and financially committed to Derek Carr for the next 2 years because of how that deal is structured. What I'm here to tell you is, as irresponsible fiscally as the New Orleans Saints are, maybe they are just crazy enough to part ways with Derek Carr after this year and eat $50 million. I mean, that's their whole approach. Restructure deals, kick the can down the road. Keep buying on credit. The cap will go up. We'll make more money. We'll pay it off later. That's the Saints' approach. Now, a big part of that would obviously be one of 2 things. Either Derek Carr has a miserable season this year, or Rattler, Haener, one of those guys, gives them confidence to believe that's your franchise. And so they're confident to move on from Derek Carr. And one of the reasons that would allow you to do that financially, move on from Derek Carr, is if you have what you feel like is a starting quarterback on a rookie deal. And yes, when you're talking about 2 mid-round picks that you have, a 4th and a 5th round pick on rookie contracts, yes, that's much more financially plausible than if you were going to try to sign a free agent deal or pay a top-tier free agent or use a high draft pick, a first-round draft pick on a quarterback. So maybe, just maybe, I've been saying it wrong. I mean, the Niners, they moved on from Jimmy G, but Jimmy G took a pay cut initially, and then they traded Trey Lance. So, the best case scenario for the Saints is one of 2 things. One, Derek Carr becomes awesome, and he proves me wrong. That's one. And I don't think that's going to happen, but that's one scenario. Number 2 is one of those guys on their rookie deals, Haener or Rattler, proves to this organization that they're ready to be your starter, your franchise, and it makes it financially plausible to get rid of Derek Carr and eat a giant cap number because, my goodness, look at the number of teams just in the last half decade that have continued. As much as contracts have continued to be broken, record number of contracts, dollar spend broken, the dead money is as well. And maybe Derek Carr will be part of that next year. Or maybe he'll go win a Super Bowl, and you'll all point and laugh at me. I'd prefer that, as a matter of fact. I'd much rather you point and laugh at me have my team win a Super Bowl. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by our friends at First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, look, the truth is a lot of people that buy land already own land. So remember, you can use the equity you have currently in your land to buy your next piece of property. If it's 1,000 acres for agriculture, if it's 20 acres in Clinton or Jackson or Zachary or wherever it may be, to build your family's dream home, your retirement property, they can help you with that as well at First South Farm Credit. Maybe you want that hunting property, that recreational property, entertain clients. You can do it at First South Farm Credit. They can help. They've helped Louisianians buy land since 1916. They've been through world wars, floods, natural disasters, economic depressions, and they've continued on as a beacon of light in our community. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit or go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Chris Marler, a.k.a. Vern Funquist. Next, Chase Parham bottom of this hour. Don't you move. It's After Further Review.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses.com, Rouses.com. Check them out online. You can check out all the great deals that they have right now. Mother's Day in the rearview mirror, but y'all, graduation's coming up. If you're having a party for that graduate and you need to entertain a whole bunch of people, Rouse's can help. If you want finger sandwich trays or vegetable trays, fruit trays, whatever it is that you need for your heavy hors d'oeuvres for an entire party, they can help. You need catering. You want pans of delicious food. they can help you there at Rouse's as well. Maybe you need that cake. They can personalize cakes for you in their bakery, or cupcakes or miniature cakes or whatever it is that you're looking for. Brownies, they can do all that for you. If you're having that graduation party for the graduate in your life, let Rouse's help you take care of everything you need. You can go by any of the Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, points in between. And, of course, you could always log on to Rouse's.com or download the Rouse's app. Rouse's.com, Rouse's. This feels like home.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, you probably saw this. Well, by the way, the Pac-12 is so Oregon State and Washington State, they're keeping the name, yes? The Pac-12,
That's what it looks like for sure, yeah.
Well, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Big Ten was the Big Ten forever when they had 11 teams after they added Penn State.
Had it hidden in the logo right there, the 11. I loved that.
I feel like the did anybody else? Oh, the Big 12 obviously.
Yeah.
Had 10. So that's actually been pretty common.
But 2?
Yeah.
I mean, that's aggressive.
Why don't you just call yourself the Pac?
I like it.
Let's drop the number. Call yourself the Pac. Anyway. Well, Oregon State and Washington State obviously are just college football free agents. I mean, they're in a league of 2. Are they going to have a championship game?
Yeah, it'll be played in week 2.
No, I'm serious. Are they going to have a championship
No,
game?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
Look it up, please. That's what I'm asking. Please look up, are they having a championship game?
You know.
But we learned, though, because they're kind of free agents, and they had to go put schedules together outside of playing each other. I say free agents. Independents is a better way to say it. They're going to have 13 games between them, home games, with 11 of them slated to be broadcast on the CW. So the CW has jumped into broadcasting sports now. And I'll tell you, I got a lot of super fond memories of the CW. I'm going to tell you what, there was a young Matty Moe back in the day. I mean, I didn't even realize the CW was still rolling along. Are they rolling along with new shows now still, or have they stopped their new production?
I can look that up too, because I don't know.
Awesome. Get a lot of help from the crew today. I'm going to ask someone who will know that, and that's our buddy Chris Marler, a.k.a. Vern Funquist, because whenever I think of CW and the CW shows, like when I was in college at LSU, it felt like this was the heyday for the CW, but I genuinely don't know if they've had better stuff. But there was like it was Seventh Heaven and One Tree Hill and Everwood and Smallville, which I was very partial to because I like Superman a lot. There was like a Superman spinoff. So there were a lot of good shows like that came on every night. It was just sort of like gratuitous, good-looking, college-age people that were pretending to be teenagers. And, yeah, it was just one of those types of deals. And it was always like a drama, like a high school, like teenage drama. We'll put it to you that way. And I learned recently that our buddy Chris Marler, when he got fired and was unemployed, had nothing to do, so he just binge-watched One Tree Hill. So I was like, there's someone who knows a lot about the CW. Let's ask Chris Marler. So he's here now. How are you, Marler?
There's so many ways you could have introduced me.
I know, but that was better,
besides
wasn't it?
you got fired, and also I don't mean to correct you, but you definitely referenced one of the many Twitter accounts that I lost and got banned. So it's actually Vern Funquist CFB. But
well, I'm just calling you Vern Funquist.
That was the best part of being fun employed, as I binged all 9 seasons of One Tree Hill before you finally employed me.
That's good. Yes, we did hire Marler here, who is very talented, and we appreciate him for joining our staff. We're glad that Saturday Down South laid him off because that allowed us the opportunity to hire him here. So he's working for us now in a growing and expanding role, which is awesome. So follow him on Twitter at Vern Funquist CFB. Will you really quickly tell me though what happened to your Twitter, your multiple Twitter accounts that you lost?
You're the worst. The first one, I made an April Fool's joke about how do I phrase this? It's not very CW friendly. Would not be a storyline on Seventh Heaven, but it was a joke about a Kirby Smart sex tape. That took about an hour and a half to get shut down. That's
on April Fool's.
Elon,
it was
still got shut down.
It was pre-Elon April Fool's, and you got shut down. I kind of feel like Elon would let that fly. No,
you would think.
Okay.
The other one was like I jokingly told one of my actual real life friends, who, like, I had called him 2 days prior. I called him a bunch. He didn't pick up. So he responded to something on Twitter, and I just jokingly said, "Hey, man, I'm going to kill you for not calling me back." And they were like, "Absolutely not. You will not use that kind of terroristic threat language on poor Evan Grimes." And I was like, "This is unreal. This is unreal." So, yeah, 4th time's a charm. Vern Funquist CFP. We're running out of derivatives for it,
So good. And you've had to misspell Vern now, just VERN, no E on Vern. Yeah, just at Vern Funquist CFB if you'd like to give Marler a follow there. But anyway, since you are ours, and you've also told me that your mother is a pastor, and so Seventh Heaven was very popular in your home, yes?
Regretfully, yeah. It was
Seventh
Heaven was a tough scene to watch every Monday night.
Jessica Biel? Like young Jessica Biel? That launched Jessica Biel. Are you kidding me? Mary Camden? How could you not? You know what I never got? The other girl, Lucy. Like Lucy, what? They were all cuckoo for Lucy. Like she wasn't that hot. Mary Camden was clearly Jessica Biel was way hotter, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to even respond to this because they were all clearly in high school. So I don't know
if
enough time.
They were all 25 years old playing high schoolers. That was the whole thing. It was like,
that's fair.
It was like Saved by the Bell. They're 30 years old and I'm 15. Yeah, right. Get out of here. The college years. They're like 37. What are we talking about?
I love the fact that Lucy was like the rebel of the group, and it was always something like, yeah, dude, she used like a number 3 pencil on that Scantron test, or like was like smoking hookah after school. It was like nothing that would get you in trouble, but they were always on her case.
All right, so listen, Marler, what do you think about the PAC, Oregon State and Washington State games being televised on the CW?
First off, I love the commitment that these two are still trying to be the Pac-12. It is like a like a bald man with a ponytail level of commitment. Like that is just, we are not going to let go of this ever. Some of these games are tough. Like these games are pretty bad. But I love the idea that they're going to be right after like the revamped Walker Texas Ranger on the CW, because there's like few things more American than that.
I haven't even looked at their schedule. All right, let's look at Washington State. Who are they playing? They've got Portland State, Texas Tech. They're playing the Apple Cup. They're playing Washington, San Jose State, Boise State, Fresno State. So they're playing the Mountain West or the WAC. I don't even know which one is which, actually. Which one is that?
And I'm pretty sure they're only playing, like the CW is only like airing their home games.
Correct.
It's not like any of the road games. So like Oregon State and them, they're each playing 5 Mountain West teams, which again is a better conference than the one they are currently in. But yeah, that's the whole schedule.
I don't have any problem with them hanging on to the brand of the Pac, because that at least carries more brand awareness and recognition than the Mountain West. So in the same way that teams from the Mountain West might want to move to the Pac, or teams from the American or CUSA move to the American sort of thing, if you're going to brand yourself, you're better branding yourself as like adding all those teams under the umbrella of the Pac instead of going to the Mountain West. But that's not why we're here, Marler. Because you lost your job and were unemployed until I, a very benevolent boss, hired you, took you off the streets. I took you under my wing and I fed you milk. And now here we are. But while you were unemployed, you binged One Tree Hill. So we said, let's do a CW trivia round here with our guy, One Tree Hill expert, noted CW expert, Chris Marler, a.k.a. Vern Funquist CFB on social media. I'll give him a follow there. All right, Muse, fire away. First question there for Marler.
All right, Marler, here we go. In Seventh Heaven, we're starting there. Okay. Who does Lucy marry?
Oh.
I was told this was strictly going to be One Tree Hill trivia, guys.
No.
Also, Matt didn't feed me milk. I think that's a more important clarification. I don't know that one. I don't know that one at all.
I remember the guy. He was a firefighter.
It wasn't one of her brothers, was it?
His name was Kevin.
His name was Kevin.
Got it.
His name was Kevin.
There was Lucy, and there was Matt Camden, who was the older brother, and he married a Jewish girl, and that was very controversial because he converted to Judaism instead of the Jewish girl he married converting to Christianity. Really, look, there was some religious debate in there. You had to, I'm telling you, it made you think, Marler. Why are you the one?
It's a very deep
answering
show,
questions?
not a surface level show.
I hope we got some Smallville in there. I love Smallville. That was my show. All right, what you got next, Muse? Fire away.
All right.
That's Scone 1. Maybe we should go head-to-head, me and Marler. Scone 1, Marler 0.
Let's go to Marler's honey hole, One Tree Hill.
All right.
All right, Marler, who is Peyton's stalker?
Oh, the blonde dude. It was her fake brother.
Remember that?
Was his name Jake? Jake was the one she ended up dating who had the kid. But it was a blonde dude who was her fake brother.
Yeah.
That's not the answer I have. Yeah,
It's not fake. That's 0, Marler.
I got it.
It's unbelievable. By the way, Sophia Bush and I. Oh, there's the One Tree Hill. Sophia Bush, who's the one right here in the center. Sophia Bush and I share a birthday. How about that?
Oh, that's
July 8th.
Look at you.
And Toby Keith, I think, also was July 8th. And I think that's it.
Okay. The answer was Psycho Derek.
Maybe. Oh, Derek.
Psycho Derek.
I gave you his full description, Musso.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
You didn't say Psycho Derek.
We needed a name.
This is why I don't listen to your podcast, Musso. Reasons like this.
And because you don't like LSU baseball.
I was about to say that's not a good reason at all.
By the way, go subscribe up to Musso at the bottom.
I think you all should. All right. Let's do a little sound check here.
Okay. I like this.
All right, Marler. What show's theme song is this from the CW?
Dawson's Creek.
I
got it. I got it first. So do I buzz in first? Do I win?
What?
Here's a better one, Marler. Who sang that song in real life?
Paula Cole.
Okay, Paula Cole. Let's go. If you were back on, you and I are roughly the same age. If you're watching VH1. Well, bleep you, man. What's that supposed to mean? You and I are closer in age than me and Musso, right?
Yeah, that's different.
It's not different.
Yeah, for sure.
We're of the
Musa was
same
like
era.
12.
You watched.
I am
you
not
saw
12.
You saw, but you didn't watch Paula Cole on VH1.
No, but I never said that I did.
He's closer in age to me than you are. He and I are the same era that we would have watched Paula Cole. I don't want to wait video on VH1. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's the clip. That's
There
the
it
whole
is.
clip.
That's the whole clip. In Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
See, I'm not going to get this one. I never watched that.
what
you
are Buffy and her group of vampire fighters called?
The Slayers?
Vampire Slayers.
No.
Got it. We nailed it.
The Scooby Gang.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't like that at all.
That's-
It's not even the name of the show.
Exactly. All right.
You want to tell Chase Parham we're going to be a little late because we got serious business going down here right now.
Man.
We're supposed to talk LSU and Ole Miss baseball with Parham in 60 seconds, and we still got to get to more trivia, and we got to catch a break as well. But let's do a couple more. What else you got over there?
In Smallville.
Oh, this is me. Don't even try it. Don't even try it, Marler. I'm all over this. I
Never
haven't seen the
seen it.
show in 20 years. Oh, really? I mean, I love this. Kristen Kruick, who played Lana Lang, she was definitely like big, like that.
It feels like this entire segment was just so you could nerd out about your own favorite shows.
You know,
I'm like,
Marler, quite honestly, you came in here and said you were only going to be doing One Tree Hill trivia. And so I felt like I had to jump in.
That's fair.
And then
That's
you
fair.
didn't know the answer about Lucy's husband in Seventh Heaven, and I did. So I was like, well, I better jump in and save this segment before it drowns with you and Muse.
I started prepping
You're
this
older
segment
and
3
wiser,
different times.
so I appreciate that.
I am older, and I am wiser, but I'm not that much older. And by the way, I was way more employed than you were 6 weeks ago.
Seems irrelevant, but yeah, that's also true.
That is
Also true.
All right, Muse, give me two more, Muse. Give me two more.
All right. So we'll do the Smallville. It's a Superman spinoff, Marler. Just think here, all right?
Got it.
Yeah.
What
got
color combination does Clark frequently wear?
I mean,
Blue
wears
and
a red
red.
shirt and blue jeans.
Marler. Blue and red.
I said exactly what he wears.
But I didn't ask
Oh,
that.
I
asked for
described
the
Derek
color
to a T,
combination.
his whole personality. I didn't get a credit for that.
And you even gave him, and I said red and blue, by the way, and you even gave him a hint on that as well.
He'd never seen the show.
Well, I had, so I should have gotten the answer. I got it
You
right.
told him we were going to set him up for success. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Well, the rules changed when we started competing now.
You were a lot nicer when I was fun employed and you were feeding me all that milk you were talking about.
I know.
You want one more?
What to nurse you back to
One
strength
more.
so that way you could handle the brunt of this this pressure. All right, one more.
In One Tree Hill.
This is Marler. Okay.
How did Clay's wife Sarah die?
She got hit
Wait,
by a
who?
bus.
Clay's wife Sarah. So Sarah, how did Sarah die?
Oh. She like died on the couch. Like she had something wrong with her. Did she have cancer?
No cancer.
She got hit by a bus.
Brain aneurysm.
She had a brain aneurysm.
Okay, well, that's a deep cut. It's a deep cut. She had like 2 total episodes she was on.
Are you sure
They used
you-
her same character to be a stalker that shot him later.
Are you sure you binged this season, just this entire show, just a few weeks ago? Because you don't remember anything about this show.
I'll be honest. I actually watched a ton of Medea movies and over and over and over again. So that's what I did the entire 2.5 months. It's honestly why they let me go at SDS, because I was watching too much Medea on the clock. So
That is Chris Marler. He's on Twitter at VernFunquist CFB. Y'all give him a follow, and he does a show on YouTube and all kind of stuff as well. So go follow all this stuff. Thank you, Marler.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you later. It's after further review. I promise we'll talk baseball with Chase Parham next.
AFR.
Although I kind of just want to keep doing the CW trivia. That was way fun. River City's 1 hour air, 752-0001, 752-0001. Hey, it's not too late for your preseason AC tune-up. I know for years and years and years and years I've given you this example. And I just don't know a better way to say it, so I'm going to say it again. You wouldn't drive your car across the country without changing the oil. You shouldn't go in to the warm weather months, the summer months here in Louisiana, without making sure your AC is tuned up and ready to roll. And what's even more beneficial is, yes, it's going to help make sure you keep your energy bills lower. It's going to make your AC run more efficiently. But most importantly, this will extend the life of your unit. I mean, you don't... I had to do a couple of years ago. I had to replace my AC. That's a very costly thing and not very fun to do. Wouldn't you like to extend the life of your unit? You could do that with regular maintenance. River City's 1 hour air helps you do that. 752-0001.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, LSU-Ole Miss, gigantic series at the box this weekend. Our buddy Chase Parham from Rebel Grove, good enough to join us, give us a little thumbnail on Mike Bianco's squad coming in. How are you, dude?
I'm good, Matt. I was enjoying, all the trivia on James Lafferty and Chad Michael Murray and the whole lot. You could have gone as long as you wanted to. We were all good over here.
If only I had known you were watching or listening at that moment, I would have just blown out this whole segment. Because honestly, Chase, who really wants to talk about two very mediocre SEC baseball teams? I don't know. But there is a lot on the line, man. Give me the perspective. Like LSU fans are looking, going, okay, you got to sweep to get in. To get into regional play before you go to Hoover. What is the thought from the Ole Miss perspective about what they need to do this weekend?
I think they need to. When you look at the metrics, they get to 13-17. That should probably be enough, even though it bucks history a little bit, Matt. When I was going back through previous seasons, and since 2006, no team has gotten into 13 wins that didn't also have a win in Hoover or a midweek conference, non-conference win. So like Alabama and Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, that kind of thing. Well, Ole Miss lost the Governor's Cup, and they haven't played in Hoover yet, obviously. But even if they get 2 out of 3, they could be 13-19 in SEC games, if you will. But I still think it's probably enough. The bubble's pretty soft. Other people seem to think it's enough. And when you've got an RPI in the top 25, your strength of schedule is number 2. They've got the 6th most top 25 wins in the country. Look, it's not a good baseball team. I don't want to sit here and act like it is under any circumstances, but They've got to pick 64 of them, and at some point, maybe that's enough. But it's a team that has not been consistent. And you look up, and they have really, they've got the series win over Mississippi State, the series win last week against Texas A&M, both those at home. But it sounds like if they can find a way to 13-17, they're going to feel pretty decent on that selection Monday.
I agree. If Ole Miss gets 2 this weekend, I think they're in and LSU's out. How did they beat A&M 2 out of 3 this weekend?
They pitched their tails off from a starting pitching standpoint, something that has not happened, and then they played clean baseball for 2 days because you got to have a little perspective on it from a defensive standpoint, Matt. Ole Miss is the worst defensive team in the conference, and it's not close. Their opening night starters, Riley Maddox, who's a pretty good sinker ball pitcher, but he doesn't work out well a lot of times because Ole Miss doesn't catch ground balls and throw them to first base. There's so many unearned runs, there's so many errors defensively for Ole Miss that it does not pair up with a sinker baller pitcher whatsoever. But over the weekend, they played good baseball. They played good defense. The 3 starting pitchers only gave up 1 earned run apiece, I believe, if I have that right. Maybe Maddox gave up 2, but either way, it was less than 5 for all 3 games against an A&M offense that's incredibly good. Wind was blowing out 2 of the days, and they just really pitched it. But they kind of have the one way they have to win. The starting pitchers have to do that. They've got to give them 5 or 6 because Mike Bianco only believes in 2, 3, 4 guys out of the bullpen tops right now. It's just not a very deep pitching staff. So the thing with Ole Miss is, for one game, sure, they can beat anybody, but it's a really, really small script on how you get there, and that's what they did against A&M. They scored 2 runs in the 8th to beat them 4-3 in the opening game of the series. They pitched well, and then they got some early runs. They ran Lampkin in the second inning on Saturday, beat A&M up 10-2, and then the normal Ole Miss team that we've seen so often reappeared after that in the final game. A&M won 6-0, and Ole Miss committed 3 errors in the process.
Is Liam Doyle going in game 2 Ole Miss's best shot at getting a win in this series? Like, if you not saying that only get one, but if you're ranking sort of the matchups, is Doyle against Holman, like, is that the best shot to get one?
Well, it's not because of Holman. If he was throwing anywhere else in the situation, I would think that would be the case. Although, I know the way Gage pitches to that ballpark, maybe that's the tougher matchup for Ole Miss. But from a vacuum, as far as the Ole Miss side of things, Doyle for multiple reasons. Number one, he's their biggest strikeout guy. He really tries to live off a fastball up in the zone that he gets away with most of the time. When he's on, he doesn't walk a lot of guys, and he's probably got the best demeanor of the 3 starters. He's a little bit of a bulldog there to give them some oomph that they don't have in a lot of places. This is not a team that has shown a ton of fortitude up and down as far as, kind of being dirtbags in a good way, but Dole sort of gives them that. So I do think in that vacuum standpoint, Dole is their best chance of going into Baton Rouge, handling the environment and everything that goes along with that. Although, maybe since Ole Miss has a title and some of the Mike angst is all from an LSU standpoint, it doesn't feel the same way down there this time. I don't know. But I think overall, Dole is the one guy with the highest ceiling, the most talent, and the guy that can take over a game a little bit between those 3 starters.
Chase Parham's with us from Rebel Grove, talking a little bit about Ole Miss as the Rebs come into Baton Rouge for a 3-game series. Remember, the whole league plays Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend to get ready for the SEC tournament, which starts on Tuesday. Speaking of Mike Bianco, I know you've talked about this a ton, but for the benefit of our audience, what is the temperature there in Oxford right now?
It would be really, really hot, I think, if it wasn't so expensive to make a change. I don't know where Ole Miss is sitting right now in this process because it's just really, really expensive if you want to make a change. When you talk about buying out assistants, buying out Mike, all the taxes that are associated with that, the total buyout number is $7.7 million, Matt. That's a lot of money to have a baseball coach not coach, especially one that has been there 24 years and won a national title 2 years ago. But these last 2 years have been really bad. I mean, they were 6-24 last year. At one point, they were 6-18 over a 24-game home SEC stretch. They've been run ruled a lot this year. They have fixed it a little bit. I mean, if they do find a way against LSU, that's 5-5 in SEC series, which is an improvement. But the baffling thing is nobody can really figure out what's happened because forever Ole Miss was a kind of a development team. They were one of the few teams that didn't have the scholarship help. They only had 11.7, and they still were so consistent. You would think in the NIL era they actually would be in better shape, but that's not the case. They have not developed. They haven't done a good job evaluating guys, and their homegrown talent just hasn't produced whatsoever, and that's the target that's on Mike's back right now when you look at it because in Mike Bianco's first 22 seasons, he won at least 13 games in the SEC every year. He won 14 games in the SEC every year but one during that stretch. They were incredibly consistent. And now you're talking about 11-16 right now. You're talking about 6-24 last year, and nobody can put a really good finger on what's caused those type of development things. Because look, I think LSU sees this a little bit. I defended the Tigers last year when everybody said, "Hey, they bought a championship out of the portal." No, they got Tommy Tank, sure they got schemes, but that was a lot of homegrown talent with Cruz and Morgan. And I'm not telling your listeners anything they don't know. Ole Miss doesn't have that. When you look at their lineup, when you look at their pitching staff, they've tried to fill every hole with the portal. And when those guys come in, there's no identity, there's no culture to latch on to. Ole Miss doesn't have a portal problem. Ole Miss has a development and evaluation problem right now with its program.
Hey, speaking of the homegrown talent, Luke Hill's a guy from Baton Rouge, went to Arizona State, now is in Oxford. A lot of people thought he might land here last year, but the Tigers had already taken Michael Braswell. How's Luke Hill done this year?
Offensively, he's really come on. He's one of their 2 or 3 better bats right now. I think he's riding an 8-game hitting streak. He's had some big hits during this run that's got him back into contention. Ole Miss is 8-7 over their last 15 SEC games. Just being real, he's been pretty bad in the middle infield. Made a lot of errors. He lost his shortstop spot to a true freshman, Braden Randall, there for a little while. He's had it back the last few weeks, and with him hitting, they're obviously going to play him. So if you look at the opposite side, he's probably exceeded expectations from what he did last year at Arizona State. He's been great. He's been completely capable for where they put him. He's hitting the top half of the lineup pretty much all season, but defense has been a struggle. He's had a really hard time being consistent, a lot of errors. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not crazy stuff where they make errors. They make so many routine play errors there defensively, and he's been some part of that for sure.
Favorite CW show?
If you did trivia, probably let's go with One Tree Hill the most. I think that's where I would pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people lean there. I mean, I'm such a Smallville. I'm a Superman nerd, I guess. So I'm kind of I lean Smallville there. But One Tree Hill had its moment. I'm not. And as I mentioned several times, Sophia Bush and I share a birthday, so I feel a kinship with her. She's beautiful.
July 8th, I hear, Matt.
That's a noted AFR fan as well. Chase Parham joining us. RebelGrove.com. Hey, man, enjoy the ball this weekend. We appreciate you as always.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, man. We'll see you. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com. ParrishBuilt.com. For the last 3.5 years, I have told you, do business with someone you know. And it is those same people, which I told you with whom to do business, that are Parrish. It is me. It is Ryan Terrio. It is Richard Tilley. It is Joe Morales. It is our great team, all of our same crews as well. We just started a new company, Parrish Construction and Roofing. All the same experience, all the same customer service experience, and we'd love to help you out. Still servicing the entire southern part of the state of Louisiana. So if you have or are in need of roof repairs or roof replacements, commercial or residential, we'd love to help you out. Awful weather came through. If you saw shingles blow off, maybe branches or limbs fall on your roof, if you had hail, listen, our inspectors are ready to come give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. You could start by going to the website at parrishbuilt.com. That's parrishbuilt.com, or call the exact same phone number I've been telling you to call for the last 3.5 years. 364-1007, 364-1007. That's in the 225, 364-1007, or parrishbuilt.com for Parrish Construction and Roofing. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. When we come back, Muso will have Tigers and the pros. Cole Cubelic, 30 minutes from right now. What SEC teams have moved to the plus and the minus now in the spring portal window? We'll talk some SEC football with Cole in about half an hour from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
My goodness. Was chatting last night with my buddy Darren James, and he shared something on Facebook that was absolutely stunning to see. The success that LPT Realty has had in such a relatively short amount of time. He shared this with me that the CEO of LPT shared. Here's their milestones that they reached in March. Over 10,000 agents, more than 3,100 closings, $1 billion in volume in the month of March in LPT Realty. My point is, LPT Realty is growing at an exponential rate in 1 year plus that it took some other company 7 to 10 years to reach. Experience the difference. If you need a realtor, you need Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I got a text from Marler to the group chat. Quote, does your new boss hate you? My mom after listening to the segment. The only thing funnier is Muse replying, I get asked this daily.
Yep. I was about to say, welcome to my life, Marler. Welcome to the team, pal.
Oh. Woo! All right. Matthew Mordecai Musso. Tigers in the pros.
You really think it would be Mordecai?
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Have you not explained to your mom yet that it's a bit?
Oh,
have
it's
you
not.
not
No.
explained to her
It's
that
not
it's
just
a
my
bit?
mom. It's not just my mom that asks me. It is sometimes random people that ask me that.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
That's the bit.
Yeah, but no, my mother
And
did.
You're a very willing and complicit participant in the bit.
Yeah, well.
Do not act like you're not.
It's the commitment to the bit, man. That's what
It
you
is.
do. But yeah, no,
I love some Marilyn Monroe music.
That's not her name, but we, her and I definitely had to have that conversation at one point.
You did?
Yeah, that it's the all part of it. It's
Oh,
not.
I thought you meant about Marilyn Monroe music.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's just the mnemonic device that I use to remember that it's Maryland.
Yeah.
That's just how I programmed it in my brain to remember your mom's name is Maryland. Because I feel like I asked you several times on air. I've never met your mom.
You've not.
I feel like I asked you several times on air, and I should have remembered, and I didn't. So that's the mnemonic device I used to remember it. So now we just say it on air.
There we go. Whatever works. Alex Bregman last night, speaking of whatever works, he's hot all of a sudden. 2 for 4, another home run for Bregman last night. That makes 3 home runs in his last 2 ball games. For what it's worth, the second hit was a double. He drove in a run and scored. He's all the way up to 225 now. Doesn't sound massive, but he was hitting well below the Mendoza line a few days ago. So
he just hit his first home run last week.
And now he's got 3 in 2 games, man. So look out. Here comes Bregman. Here comes Bregman. Josh Smith last night for Texas Rangers was 1 for 4 with an RBI single. He's still flirting with 300, just pretty consistently over there. That's not the one I wanted to do. I wanted to do this one. Jake Fraley. Jake Fraley last night, also 2 for 4. Both of them singles, but I did have the RBI and a run scored. Fraley, you remember he had the foot injury. Or I'm sorry, it was an illness. Who had the foot injury? I don't remember who had the foot injury. Fraley had an illness, took him out, came back, started slow. Now he's back over 300.
Hey, Paulie, you know why he's having trouble remembering things, right?
Because I didn't write that down?
See the clock. See what time it is.
That time.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I didn't write it down.
About that time.
Because I didn't write it down. Nas Reed last night.
Why didn't you write it down?
Timberwolves have lost 3 straight in that series. Nas Reed,
should have stayed.
7 points, 3 boards for him. So kind of right there on his averages. We gave him to yesterday. It was 12 and 3. And again, the Timberwolves lost again. They've lost 3 straight in that series. Alex Lang yesterday got charged with the loss, and it was a tough luck loss. He pitched the final inning of the game, scoreless game. Gave up a hit and an unearned run and got charged with the loss.
Our guy.
Sam Burns tees off tomorrow. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Mother's Day in the rearview mirror. But remember, gentlemen, now graduation season right around the bend. The perfect opportunity to get a gift for that grad. Go to the website, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, you scroll down and you will see the graduation gifts right there. Some amazing gifts. Bracelets, necklace, pendants, watches, writing instruments as well, rings. Graduation season. Thrill the graduate in your life with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com.
AFR.
Okay, y'all, wrapping up hour number 2. We'll get to SportsCenter here coming up in just a bit. We'll recap the Saints schedule leaks. Of course, the schedule doesn't come out officially here for another couple hours, but it's already leaked out there, so we'll catch up on some of what you missed. Cole Cubelic in about 20 minutes from right now. Love telling you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com. You know, one of the things I probably should stress more is one, I think, objection that people may have when we talk about refractive surgery is the cost. Like, can you afford it? Well, one of the things I'll tell you, point blank, that Dr. Blake Williamson has made a real sort of core part of what they do is he wants refractive surgery to be available to anyone and everyone. And so they will work with you on the many different types and ways and payment methods that they can make to make sure that you get that refractive procedure that you're looking for. Learn more online at williamsoneye.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Astros pitcher Ronel Blanco suspended 10 games by Major League Baseball for having a foreign substance on his glove last night. He denied using an illegal substance. He will not appeal, so the suspension starts tonight. On the brink of elimination in the second-round NBA playoff series against the Celtics, looks like the Cavaliers will be without the injured Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen for Game 5 tonight. Neither expected to play. TNT NBA analyst Greg Anthony.
Without Mitchell and Allen, we still don't know, but more likely he does not play. Find it hard to find a scenario or a formula where they're going to have a chance to extend this series. But, hey, listen, that's why we play the games, right? And you just never know.
Greg Anthony on Carlin versus Joe. Thunder Mavericks Game 5 tonight, 9 Eastern ESPN Radio. Series is 2-2. Second-round Stanley Cup playoffs. Injured Stars winger Rope Hintz won't play in the potential clincher against the Avalanche tonight. Game 5, 8 Eastern ESPN. Netflix announced it'll air 2 games on Christmas Day this season. Steelers Chiefs and Ravens Texans.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
NFL schedule release a couple hours away.
Hump day.
Who are we kidding? The whole thing's already been leaked.
It's hump day.
Ran through the Saints schedule in hour number 1.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Pretty good.
Hump day.
Like it.
It's It's hump day.
We'll recap some of what you missed.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cole Cubelic coming up here in 15 minutes.
Hump day.
Talk a little SEC football.
It's hump day.
We had Chase Parham last hour talking
What day is it,
LSU-Ole
Mike?
Miss and baseball. No worries. We only do it every Wednesday twice.
It sounded like you were pausing there. Sorry. It did. And that's normally the cadence you do, too.
Paulie, did it sound like I was pausing there?
No, not at all.
Weird, Muse. You'll lose again.
It's hump day.
What? I don't know what you want me to say.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Darn, I guess I lost again. I mean, what do you want?
Words.
Hump day.
All right, let's get going here. You heard it there in SportsCenter. Netflix is set to broadcast 2 Christmas games this year in 2024. We know the 2 teams that are going to play, not the two teams. We know the 2 games that are going to play on Christmas Day. It's the NFL leaked that earlier. So the Chiefs and the Steelers at noon Eastern. So I guess 11 a.m. Central, right? So Chiefs Steelers at noon. No, forgive me. I think I blacked out a little there for a second. Chiefs Steelers at noon, and then Ravens Texans at 3:30, live on Netflix. It's a pretty brilliant move by Netflix. No different than Thursday Night Football being on Amazon. And I know that a lot of people who maybe aren't subscribers to either of those platforms may not like that, but ultimately you're looking at a loss leader for both of them. I don't know that they can sell. The financial terms were not disclosed, but I don't know that they can sell enough advertising to make enough of a margin on those games to make it worthwhile. Maybe so. Again, we'll see what the terms are and all that sort of stuff. But for Amazon on Thursday Night Football, for Netflix with these Christmas Day games, it's not about selling advertising for that one pop on Christmas Day on a couple of football games. It's about getting people to subscribe to Netflix. On Thursday Night Football, it's about getting people to subscribe to Amazon Prime, to buy Amazon Prime. And then, they want you to buy your soap and everything from Amazon on Prime. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's a loss leader. They're probably not making money dollar for dollar on the investment into buying this live programming with what they'll sell in ads for it. But in acquiring all of us as customers to watch these games, it'll lend their other services well and keep us there long term. That's the idea behind it. It's pretty brilliant. I mean, it works. It's live sports are essentially the only thing that people watch live anymore. There are some people that skew older demographics that watch the evening news live, but again, that's an older demographic. Like my son, a lot of us like in this room will never watch the news, the 10 o'clock news live. It's just not how we're conditioned and what our behavior patterns are anymore. So, makes a lot of sense. What I will say, though, is for the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, and Texans, that is a brutal stretch in December. I mean, think about this. Because they're going to play on a Wednesday, which is Christmas Day is a Wednesday, that means the week before they'll play on Saturday. So remember, once the college football regular season is over and high school, the NFL can start to play Saturday games. So these 4 teams will go Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday. That's 3 games in 11 days. Don't ever let anyone associated with the NFL tell you their concern is the health of the players. Similarly, don't let the players tell you the league doesn't care about them, because all of these things are collectively bargained, and the players are going to make money on it. It's fine. That's fine. If you want to play an extra game and you want to increase the salary pool and the salary cap by adding Christmas Day games and selling these games on Netflix and adding more money to the pot that's distributed to the players, great. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you it's your life. Do what you want. And similarly for the NFL, if you want to build a business as big as you possibly can and look for every revenue model, I don't blame you at all. Go do that. But don't pee on my head and tell me it's raining outside. That they don't care about health. It's all about money, and they want to see how high they can grow it. And this is part of it. So the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, and Texans are all going to play 3 games in 11 days as they play on Christmas, which is just stunning to see how that's all going to play out. One other quick, this was really cool too if you missed it earlier, which I would highly recommend if you haven't seen it yet. Go to Twitter or any of the social media. The NFL on Fox released a really cool video, and it's essentially a handoff video, the Super Bowl from Las Vegas to New Orleans. So the NFL on Fox, their mascot, Cletus the robot, he's essentially leaving Las Vegas and kind of ends up wandering through the desert. And he's like, sort of mourning the loss of the football season being gone and all that sort of stuff. And then ultimately, I'll scroll forward for those who are watching a little bit. He's kind of just walking through the desert, and then all of a sudden, he kind of gets picked up by a truck, and it's the pathway to New Orleans. They're having a party. There's Mardi Gras beads and Mardi Gras floats and all this stuff. And so Cletus the robot gets on the van and heads to New Orleans. So anyway, really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, would highly recommend you go check it out. It's on social media. It's about a 2-minute video. Fox did it. It's really well done. For what it's worth, this will be the 11th time New Orleans is hosting the Super Bowl, which will tie it again with Miami with the 11th most. And here's hoping that the new stadium expansion in the NFL is nearing its end, because that's what really limited. This will be the first time that the city of New Orleans will have hosted the Super Bowl since 2013, the 2012 season, the February 2013 Super Bowl, when Beyonce made the lights go out with her halftime show, the Niners and the Ravens, the Harbaugh Bowl, which feels like forever ago, which it kind of was now. But the reason it's taken so long is because everybody is building new stadiums. And essentially, when you build a new stadium and make that investment, the NFL is guaranteeing you when you build a new stadium, you're going to host a Super Bowl. So, Atlanta built a new stadium, they got a Super Bowl. Las Vegas built a new stadium, they got a Super Bowl. SoFi in LA built a new stadium, they got a Super Bowl. Minneapolis, Detroit, Indianapolis, New York. I'm going to say, the cities of Indianapolis and Detroit and Minneapolis have no business ever of hosting a Super Bowl. There's no reason to bring the marquee event in our country annually to one of those cities, especially in February when it's freezing outside. And I understand they all got their turn because they built a new stadium. So did Atlanta. When they built Mercedes-Benz Stadium, they got a Super Bowl. I get it. But we're beyond that now. And with few exceptions of teams that are going to be building new stadiums, Chicago, whatever happens there. But again, do we really want an outdoor Super Bowl in Chicago in February? That's insane. So with all of those passed, hopefully now the cities that host start to narrow down. And I understand that Atlanta and Houston and Dallas and all these warm weather cities are going to continue to bid every year. But hopefully it narrows down to L.A., Las Vegas, New Orleans, Miami. You want to throw in Arizona and Dallas as well, okay. But that really needs to be the rotation. And even places like Dallas and Arizona, and even Miami, the stadiums are so far from everything going on. Santa Clara got a Super Bowl. It's so far from everything going on that it's not conducive for hosting a big event. The great thing about New Orleans and Las Vegas is everything is so central. It's why it's a perfect big city or big event town. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. We all know that and understand that. But my hope is, with all of the new stadiums having had their turn now in Minnesota and Indianapolis and Detroit and all of them, that you've done that. You've given them you've thrown them their bone. All right, let's get it back to where it needs to be, and hopefully it'll be far more often for New Orleans. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. I will take a quick second. We got to get to Cole. Okay, let me do this. Let me break. Let me get to Cole Cubelic here in the next segment. At the bottom of the hour, we'll do Pluckers Trivia with Muse, but I also make sure we get back to the Saints leaked schedule. So the highlights are they open against Carolina. They'll play Monday Night Football early October against Kansas City at Arrowhead. Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos come to the Dome on Thursday Night Football. The bye is in Week 12, and you got a tough stretch late. Week 16, you're at Green Bay on Monday Night Football, which that stinks. It's going to be freezing. And the Raiders, Derek Carr's old team, come to the Dome in Week 17. So just some of the highlights on the schedule that'll be officially released here in a couple of hours. All right, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. Cole Cubelic next on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Really cool. Yesterday, kind of as we were going off the air, we saw the announcement about Trey'Dez Green, the tight end, basketball player, dual sport star from Zachary, joining up with the G team. You can go to any of the social media at Get Gordon, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and see the video of Trey'Dez announcing his membership and joining up with the G team. One of the great things Gordon's done through the NIL programs has been given so many opportunities to young student athletes. Yes, at places like with the Tigers on the football team and some of the big sports that we all know, but also to female athletes in some of the non-revenue or Olympic sports. Earlier today as well, they announced another NIL deal with actually this one I think with that they announced early, but it's with a Southeastern Lion softball player. So many different ways Gordon continues to give back. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. He enjoys Victory cigars and pancake blocks. It's time to preview this week in the SEC with Cole Cubelic, presented by Roosters Men's Grooming.
It's not This Week in the SEC. It's not brought to you by Roosters. Roosters are great people, but that was the open we used when Cole was a weekly guest. And then he got a new show on the SEC Network and could come on weekly. But what the hell? We dusted it off and we spun it. It was good times. Cole, how are you, dude?
I'm doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
I am doing really well. Coming out of spring portal, I think everyone obviously is looking at Georgia top the league, but there's way more questions and way more interesting conversations. Is there a team that you would circle and say, yeah, that team got better after spring football ended?
After spring football ended, maybe Oklahoma. You go get a D tackle that I think is going to be able to help you. That was a big position of need for them. I mean, obviously, you guys talked a lot about that one.
Yeah.
After spring ball ended, I don't think there was anybody that I looked at and just said, oh, yeah, I like them a lot more now. Most of the guys were either in or it happened kind of during spring ball. So since spring ball ended, no, I don't really think that anybody I've looked at and said, yeah, they've made some additions that make me think totally different about what they're going to be.
Well, you said you kind of hesitated at the beginning as if I was going to go a different direction. What were you thinking?
Like just through the spring portal window, which would have been a little bit bigger than after actually spring practice ended.
So who do you think through that entire spring portal window, even after the season got better?
I would probably look at Auburn as one. Because I think you go out and you got defensive tackle depth, which you needed desperately. You added extra wide receivers, which I think you absolutely had to have, and you had already addressed it to a certain extent. But, I mean, I think you had already gotten a couple of guys that were going to help, both through the portal and then obviously through traditional recruiting. Cam Coleman's got a chance to be a pretty good football player. But you go up to Penn State and get a wide receiver that I think is really going to help in Keandre Lambert-Smith. And I think that he's just an all-around super solid wide receiver, good route runner, bigger body, reliable hands. Got a little bit inconsistent as far as playing time towards the end of the year. I don't know what happened, how that thing all went. And you added a couple of defensive tackles like Phillip Beatty from Indiana that played a lot of football. And I think a guy that's probably going to be able to come in and help you a little bit. I've watched a couple of the offensive linemen that they brought in. I don't know if they're really going to just be plug-and-go starters, but they had some depth and some positions that they had to have. So also the pass rusher that they added from Arkansas State, I think has a chance to really help. They needed depth there in a really bad way because your top pass rusher is probably about 230, not going to be able to just be there the entire season. This Kerryon Crawford kid, he's still kind of raw when it comes to just overall football experience. But he's got a lot of bend, a lot of twitch. Like he uses his hands well. He plays his rear end off. Like plays really hard from when I studied him. So I would say spring window, I really liked what Auburn did. It's not a lot of those splash names, but I think it's guys that they had to have and guys that have a lot of experience. And from what I've been told, some leadership void has also been addressed with some of these guys that Auburn's brought in during the spring.
Cole Cubelic's with us. Hey, what about the conversation here has been so much about defensive tackle, right? And I think Brian Kelly kind of painted himself into a corner when he said at the end of spring that it was the only position they were going to go after, and I think it sort of magnified the need. From what you know about the players LSU has at defensive tackle, how big of a hole or of a weakness is that for LSU, Cole? Because they got bodies. They just don't have guys that have started before.
Yeah, I don't think it's a massive hole if you're just talking about the frontline guys that are going to be out there and they're going to probably get the majority of the snaps. Like, we've seen Gilroy play. We know what he's capable of. I think Jalen Lee has a chance to be okay and be able to help. It's just after that, we don't really know what you have. And they haven't played a ton of snaps in the Southeastern Conference. So it's just a little bit concerning. I had you on my show months ago, and you talked about just 2 scholarship D tackles going into spring. It was something that we hadn't talked about, and obviously it opened our eyes to it. So I think also too, you got really good production from the guys you had last year. Mekhi Wingo, when he was playing, was great. I mean, I thought he was wonderful. I thought Jordan Jefferson was like the dirty work, under the radar, the guy that didn't have a lot of stats. You didn't look in the box score and see his name a lot, but he made a lot of the other things happen, which I guess with the way that defense played, it wasn't a whole lot of things. But yeah. I did think he did play well when he was in. We know what Mason Smith was capable of. So I just think that you look at what you have now compared also to what you had, and the defense wasn't great. So it kind of magnifies it. It kind of makes it feel a little bit worse than maybe it is. From a numbers perspective, though, there's no way around it. You need bodies there. You're going to lose guys. Guys are going to get dinged up. Guys are going to get gassed. Teams are going to go fast. So you just have to have 5 or 6 guys that are going to be able to roll at certain points in time, and it doesn't feel like LSU really has that right now.
He's on Twitter at Cole Cubelic, SEC Network, of course, Jocks FM there in Birmingham, weekday mornings with Greg McElroy. It's funny, Cole, I was asking you who got better. You mentioned Auburn, Oklahoma. Since the spring portal window closed, when Vegas released their updated win totals, there were 3 SEC teams whose win totals increased by 1 game. Auburn, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Are you a believer in the Vols, maybe with arrow pointing up?
There is a lot to like about this football team. They were my spring review in the latest episode of Cube Show. You can find it on YouTube. We kind of took a dive into what Tennessee is, what they've done in the offseason. This kid, Chris Brazzell, that they got from Tulane, I think is going to be big time. I think he's going to be a really good football player. I think he's going to help them. And in that offense, of course, you're going to get opportunities to make big plays and make plays down the field. I think their offensive line has a chance to be really good. I don't know if they have a lot of depth, though. So there are key guys like Lance Hurd, who you guys know about at tackle, John Campbell at tackle, Cooper Mays at center, that I think it might be a massive drop-off if they're gone. I think Dylan Sampson at running back, there could be, and I don't know this because we haven't seen really what's behind him, but I think there could be a pretty significant drop-off if he were to be gone. But we've seen Brew McCoy play. We know Squirrel White in the slot, what he can do. Apparently Dante Thornton is healthy, and some of the fairy tales that we heard about him last year may come true this year. Don't really know. I mean, they did get it going with Brew McCoy. I mean, remember, Brew McCoy was this college football folk hero for like 6 years, and we never really saw him play. Texas and USC and back to Texas and high school and the whole thing. And he actually started becoming a good football player there. So I like their tight end room. I think they like their tight end room. I think they have the Ethan Davis kid is the one that they think might surprise some folks, the youngster. And then their defensive line actually is going to be pretty solid. I think it's got a chance to be like a top 5 defensive line in the SEC because they have what LSU doesn't have, and that's defensive tackle depth. Amari Thomas has played. Bryson Easton's played. Omar Norman-Lott's played. Elijah Simmons has played. I mean, they got 4 or 5 defensive tackles that are pretty good players that have played significant snaps, and that's valuable. You throw in with that maybe the best pass rusher returning in the SEC. I had that conversation a couple weeks ago with somebody, and I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, surely we got all these pass rushers in the league, and it's not James Pierce. And then you start looking around, and you're like, wow, who are the other great pass rushers in the league? We know Harold Perkins can be, but it doesn't feel like LSU's got 2 or 3, Bama's got 2 or 3, Georgia's got 2 or 3, like we're kind of used to, like Florida's got the guy that you just can't block. It doesn't feel like we have that in this league right now. So I think the secondary is a little bit of a question. Linebacker depth, definitely a question. They only had Keenan Peely for, less than half the season last year. He's got to be in there and he's got to go. But I think if Nico Iamaleava is, close to what we think he's going to be, Tennessee's got a chance to be pretty sporty this year. But depth is a very real concern for them, like it is for most other college football teams.
Maybe a team on the come up there. Hey, before you go, I feel like I could ask you pointy questions about every team in the league. One of the ones that continues to surprise me with what the odds makers seem to think about him is Texas A&M, which lost 31 scholarship players when Jimbo went out. And Cole, not just scholarship guys, but dudes. With like
real guys,
Evan Stewart and Walter Noel. dudes. Bryce Foster, starting center. Are you a believer in A&M year one under Mike Elko? Where do you, maybe a better way to ask it is, like, what's a ceiling for Elko there in year one?
Yeah, I'm a believer in Elko in general, but where are your gimme wins? Because I don't think it's Notre Dame. I don't think it's Missouri. I don't think it's at Florida. I don't think it's LSU. I don't think that it's at Auburn or Texas at home. Obviously, we know what that game is going to mean. And you still have to go to Mississippi State, to South Carolina, and you still have to play Arkansas. The weird part about it, too, is, you look at early on in that schedule, you got at Florida, Arkansas neutral site, and you're at Mississippi State. That's just at Florida. That's kind of weird the way that they play, a couple of those games in different places early on. They've been doing this for a while. But I don't know what to make of them, to be honest with you. Now, I do agree with you, Matt, that they lost some serious talent, but Johnny Walker looked pretty good at receiver last year. Noah Thomas looked pretty good at receiver last year. Like, Moose Muhammad can play. We know that. Connor Wigman is just availability. Are you healthy? Are you going to be in the lineup? If so, I think he's a really good college quarterback. Now, is he a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels? No, I'm not going to go that far, but I think he can win games. I think they have some depth at running back, but some of those guys were banged up. Like when Le'Veon Moss was healthy, I liked him a lot. I like Ruben Owens when he was healthy. And I know a lot of that D-line talent's gone, but I might take, Shamar Turner first over any other D-lineman in the league. I think he's that good. You still got Shamar Stewart back, who's played a ton of football. I'm worried about them more at linebacker and in the secondary. I just don't know really what they're going to be there. They had one guy that made up for a lot of it last year. But if you got a really good D-line, you got a quarterback with experience, you have some weapons around him that can help him, I mean, you got a chance. And I love Coach Elko. And actually, I think Colin Klein's going to be a good coordinator in the SEC. But their offensive line wasn't good last year. And like you said, the majority of the high-end talent at that position is gone. I've seen a little bit of Mark Nebu. I've seen a little bit of Cam Dewberry and Chase Bistonis, but I don't know if they're going to – and I've seen a little bit of Trey Zoon, but are they going to just be a really good offensive line? I do think a shift in coaching philosophy at that position can help, but I don't know if it automatically makes them better. And that position has kind of been on a little bit of a downside for the last maybe 2, almost 3 years. That year, COVID year in 20, that's when that O-line kind of started ripping a little bit, looked really good. I think they were a finalist for the Joe Moore Award that year. And then it's kind of been like a slight decline ever since. So that group's got to make a pretty significant jump if they're going to win 8 or 9 games, in my opinion.
Hey, man, we'll see you over in Dallas in July for Media Days. Hopefully we can visit again before then, man. Would love to talk about the rest of the league if you got time.
Yeah, I mean, we're just adding 2 more teams, so I guess we go all day Thursday now.
I'm down, bro. Let's do it.
It'll be fun.
All right, man. Thanks, Cole. Appreciate it.
All right, Matt. We'll see you.
That's Cole Cubelic of the SEC Network, one of the best. We always appreciate his time. All right, we'll run through the leaked Saints schedule, and Musa will do Pluckers Trivia next. Stay far.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where they are. Segan near Airline, LA-16 in Denham. That's easy to find. If you live in Denham, you know where Clegg's is because there's not another garden center within a 5-mile radius of that Clegg's on LA-16. A Mid-City on Donmore. If you're on Florida, you turn off of Florida on Donmore, boom, it's right there. And then the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. If you're leaving Central on Greenwell Springs, I mean, it is literally, you pass the thank you for visiting Central sign. It's right there on your right as you're leaving Central, heading toward downtown. So no matter what part of town you're in, there's a Clegg's near you. And no matter what part of town you're in, there's a Clegg's near you that has a full greenhouse. And I was talking to Miss Teresa on Monday, and she told me they're still getting shipments daily of fresh flowers and plants. They're expanding the greenhouse at the Segan Lane location to house even more inventory. Why would you go anywhere else? They're just the best. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, the Saints schedule, the full NFL schedule is going to be released here in less than 2 hours, but it's all leaked by now. I saw it first, the full schedule from John Hendricks. I believe it's at Saints News Network is where John is. Let me make sure I have that right. Yes, at Saints News Network. So if you want to check it out there, you can see the full schedule. Let's just run through this really quickly. I gave you some thoughts on it back as we started the show in hour one. So you can go catch that on demand. However you get your podcast, just search After Further Review. You can get us on YouTube as well. After Further Review, of course, on demand, presented by Breck Golf. Let's see. All right, here we go. Week 1 at home against the Panthers. So the worst team in the NFL comes to the Dome week 1. You should get started off there with a win, and you'd hope to because you got back-to-back really tough games. You're at Dallas, home against Philly. You'll be an underdog in both of those. Then you go to Atlanta, where you're going to see there in the first month of the season what the Kirk Cousins experiment looks like, and if Atlanta really is the front runner in the division, as the odds makers think they are. If you drop that, you're likely falling to 1-3, and then you go to Kansas City on Monday Night Football, which I don't think many of us think the Saints are going to win in prime time at Arrowhead against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. If you do, you could likely fall to 1-5 out the chute. You're home against Tampa, which should be a winnable game. And then the first one you'd circle there is Week 7, Thursday Night Football at home against the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton comes back to New Orleans. So even if you get those, you kind of start to get back to maybe like 3-4, approaching 500. But then you got another tough back-to-back there where you go by Coastal. You go at the Chargers from Thursday Night Football. The good news is you go from Thursday Night Football, so you get a little mini bye before you have to go to the West Coast, play at the Chargers, and then you go all the way to the East Coast to play at the Panthers. So even though the Panthers aren't very good, that's a tough travel week right there. Then you're home against Atlanta, home against Cleveland, and then you hit your bye week, Week 12, November the 24th. We have seen the Saints have a bye later than that. I would certainly prefer to have it more in the middle of the season than smack there in Week 12. Could be better, could certainly be worse, but not great to have it all the way in Week 12 because at that point you're gearing up for the stretch run. But what are you playing for at that point? Really depends on how the middle chunk of the season goes. And then you finish out in December. You're home against the Rams. You're at the Giants. You're home against the Commanders. Of course, so Jaden Daniels will be coming to the Dome December the 15th. Then you've got a little bit of a tough stretch here. You're at Green Bay on Monday Night Football on December the 23rd, so that is going to be a terrible weather game, playing at Lambeau in the freezing cold. Then you're home against the Raiders, so short week after the Monday Night Football game. You're home against the Raiders, Derek Carr against his former team, and then you finish the season at the Bucs, so at Tampa Bay. You finish in Week 18 on the road. Vegas has LSU over under. Excuse me, LSU. Vegas has the Saints. We're talking to Cole last segment. Vegas has the Saints over under 7.5. And suffice to say, if the Saints fall on either side of that number, 7 or 8, they'd be sub 500. And it would be hard to imagine running it back with Dennis Allen another year if you go from 7-10 to 9-8 and then fall back sub 500 again this year. So we know the slate, and as we always say, not just who you play, but when and where you play them. The Saints, I think, get a little bit of a break. You're playing Kansas City earlier in the season. Tough break playing Green Bay at the end of December. But all things considered, I wish the bye was a little bit earlier, but you don't get to pick your schedule. So we'll see what the reaction is fully to it. Saints have by opponents' winning percentage, the Saints in Atlanta have the easiest schedules in the NFL this year. Remains to be seen what the Saints can do with it. Long way to go, though, before they tee it up and kick it off. All right, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone else. I tell you all the time, listen, if you are just shopping price, like if you're going to go get 3, 4, 5 quotes just to find out who's the cheapest, I'll save you some time. Don't call Relief Windows. They will not be the cheapest. If you are just shopping price, I'm telling you point blank, they will not be the cheapest. But Relief Windows will always be the best. The best quality products, the best installers, the best customer service. They guarantee it. They never take, you realize they never take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled? People have tried. Brandon's told me these stories before. People have tried to give them a down payment. They will not accept it. They will not accept money until the work is done and you are thrilled. That's their commitment. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah. They do indoor shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right. It's a hump day. Means Pluckers Trivia Day. Hit it, Muse.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right, Muse. This isn't necessarily a themed trivia.
All right.
It's a little hodgepodge.
Okay.
I think you got a shot at a couple of them.
All righty.
All right, here we go.
I like hearing that.
Yep. This one I think you'll get. What sports league awards the Conn Smythe Trophy?
The NHL?
It is the NHL. It's the most valuable player of the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't know anything about hockey, but I did know that.
Conn Smythe just sounds like something you'd have in hockey.
It does. It sounds Canadian, eh?
Yep.
Yep. Who is Conn Smythe?
Great question.
I don't know.
That's Smythe, dear, not Smith.
Smythe. Okay, here we go. Are you looking up Conn Smythe?
He's a Canadian soldier, it looks like.
I love it. That's so good. So he never actually fought anybody. I shouldn't have said that. That's probably really disrespectful.
He was also a businessman.
Might be like a war hero or something. But then again, with all the jokes about Canada and wars, eh?
And a sportsman in ice hockey and horse racing.
That explains it. Ice hockey is what it would be. Okay, here we go. Muse, 1 for 1. I think you got a shot here, Muse. I've never seen it's fictional films. I've never seen this movie, but if you have, you'll get it.
Okay, like films that are fiction.
Yes.
Okay, fictional film sounds like it's a film that's not even real. But okay.
Given the name of a fictional movie, name the real movie in which it is seen or referenced. So meaning in the movie, they're watching a fictional movie. So it actually
is a fictional film.
Yeah, in the movie. Yes.
Got you.
Okay. Itchy and Scratchy, the movie. Yeah, I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah, I don't even have a guess. I don't know.
It's the Simpsons movie. I never saw the Simpsons movie.
Simpsons movie's funny, but I don't remember that part.
Oh, you seen it?
I have.
That's disappointing.
Multiple times, but that does not ring a bell at all.
That is disappointing. All right. Let's see if Muse can finish above 500 or if he falls deeper into the depths of despair, per usual.
Per usual.
Per the usual. Starring Zachary Levi. Levi or Levy?
Let's go Levi, because I don't know.
Now of Shazam fame. I guess he was in Shazam.
Like the movie with Shaq?
Yeah, I guess. Which NBC action comedy spy drama had its first season cut short from 22 episodes down to 13?
So it stars Zach Levy, and it was a spy drama on NBC.
I'm going to go Levy.
Levy? Okay. Like Eugene?
I definitely wouldn't say Levy.
Levi.
It's Levi.
Yeah.
I would either go Levi or Levy. Show ends at 6.
Agent 612.
No, sorry, it's a Chuck.
What?
Chuck
What?
is the answer. I don't know. You're talking to me? You asking me?
Chuck?
I mean, I've never seen an episode of This Is Us.
Me either.
Oh, really?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
I don't know. I figured that was something new to watch. It feels like that skews younger, This Is Us. It was a cultural phenomenon. People actually watched a live television. That was a rare thing that was on network television that people watched live.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I just feel like it's something that would follow the phrase tonight on CBS after the game.
This Is Us or Chuck?
Kind of both, to be honest with
not
you.
This Is Us.
Yeah.
And CBS is after the game is 60 Minutes.
That's true.
So not that. And then Fox is always animation domination.
Yeah.
So
Simpsons, Family Guy.
Right, all that. So American Dad.
American Dad.
So no, I don't watch any of them.
All those shows created by Seth MacFarlane. Not The Simpsons, but American Dad, Family Guy.
Yeah. All right, another losing day for Muse. Shocker. Hey, Muse, you know how to make yourself feel better?
Go to Pluckers.
You could do that. You could go to Pluckers and play trivia. Or you could go to Supper Club tonight.
That too.
And have a great dinner. A Supper Club open right now, every Tuesday to Saturday. Remember, at Supper Club, always grab yourself a reservation and go have a great meal. This Friday and Saturday, they open reservations at 3 p.m. for graduation. So if you're going to graduation, you want to celebrate your graduate, there's no better place to do it than Supper Club, right there on Perkins Road. Maybe you got family coming in from out of town. Take them to go experience Supper Club this weekend. Friday and Saturday, again, reservations for graduation starting at 3 p.m. So you can get in early this Friday and Saturday. It's a special time. They're opening early just for graduation. But remember, they're open right now. It's 5:45 in the afternoon. Go on by. But Scone, I'm not a member. You don't have to be a member. It's a big misconception. And about a month ago, they opened bar seating for the first time ever, to where you can walk in without a reservation and go sit at the bar. You want to have a cocktail, a premium whiskey, scotch, all the top shelf alcohol, spirits that they have, great glass of wine. Want to meet your significant other there, sit at the bar and have a drink. You want to go meet a client, close some business. Maybe, it's Wednesday. You're knocking off of work. You don't feel like going straight home. You and some of the coworkers, go to Supper Club. And look, sometimes they have tables open at the bar. You can sit at one of the tables and have a meal, or have your meal at the bar at Supper Club. Remember, they opened up bar seating, but it's always a great spot to go celebrate any occasion in life, especially with graduation right around the bend. Go experience Supper Club. Get your reservation today. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, it's after further review, y'all. We're going to knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back, do a little Otter Locks with Jimmy. How did our parlay do last night? I know. Did you check it?
I think, pretty sure it cashed, yeah.
I know. So Ott had tons of Caitlin Clark hate last night.
The fade parade.
It was all fading Caitlin Clark and fading the Indiana Fever on the season and everything like that. Let me see.
The UConn Sun definitely won.
Our parlay did not hit. It must. Did the Astros lose?
The Astros won. 2-1 in 10 innings.
Must have been the Florida Panthers. The Sun won and covered, so that hit. The Cardinals won, which hit. Our parlay did not hit, which means it must have been the Florida Panthers. And since I do not ever watch hockey, that's probably got to be what it was.
Most likely.
Otter Locks next.
AFR.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. 7:30 Blue Bond at 8 o'clock Nichols and Trivia tonight. Y'all get on by. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matthew? How about you?
Those darn Florida Panthers did us in our parlay, but I tell you, the UConn Sun came through.
They did. Money line spread and got a good little start to our unders on that deal. So,
Nice.
Hey, look, they got it's just every game that team's going to play, they're going to have a little bit of a circle around it. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, I'm not ready to bury her just yet. I think she's going to make it. I think she'll be good. But this season, those girls are tired of it. Like, you didn't invent the sport at Iowa the last 2 years.
True.
I mean, it was just put a rocket chair. We'll take it. And you know what? Eventually, people are going to that line's going to kind of they're tightened up. So, but right now, we're glad to have that one in. But yeah, man, and you know what, Matt? It was what I know about Boston. The hockey. Boston had so many chances. They're kind of lucky to be in the game late. So, but that's the way it goes down. All right, tonight. All right, best bet OKC. OKC minus the 4 in game
Looking at 4.5 right now. Are there 4s out there still?
No. I hadn't checked in a while, so but just minus a 4.5. Now look, the first game is tricky. We're going to take Boston, but I mean we're just trying to hit a middle here. I don't know if they're going to cover. It could be one of these garbage time backdoor covers, which it could easily happen. But I do anticipate them getting over the number at some point in the game because it was so tight last time. So I take Boston minus the points. What are you looking at, 15.5?
16.
Jeez, 16. When it gets to 21 or higher in game, then come back and middle it.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to do there.
All right.
And I mean, at least for half of your bet.
Okay.
So,
got it.
Because I'm thinking that Cleveland may have a garbage time. I'm doing it for the whole thing. I'm looking for about a 5-point middle or so, and that's all I got. Because I really feel confident they'll get over that number at some point, which will create a nice middle for us. Okay. But it's such a high line. It's going to be a garbage time cover in all likelihood. So that's it. That's it for tonight.
All right, looking at some NBA tonight. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
Tomorrow we are at Jolly Pearl.
Cool. Back downtown. Very
Downtown.
good, man. Y'all go check out Otter.
It's right
real quick. Consensus golf picks?
Oh, yes. It's the Live gang. Rahm and Koepka are the two big ones.
Okay.
And then DeChambeau and Hatton. But Rahm and Koepka.
All right, Rahm, Koepka, DeChambeau, and Hatton. All right, those are your 4 consensus picks for
1 minute
golf
remaining.
This weekend. All right, Otter, have a great show tomorrow, man. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, be well. It's After Further Review brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Tell you every day, you weigh or measure something. They sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. You need your precision measurement devices calibrated. They do that. You don't want to ship it up to Chicago? No worries. Bring it to Michelli. Let them come pick up your devices from you. They have mobile on-site calibration as well if you have devices that you don't want to leave the facility or can't leave the facility. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, I'll do it for us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your teatimeGolf.breck.org. NFL full schedule release. We'll have full reaction tomorrow, and we'll be previewing Game 1 of LSU-Ole Miss. Muse Pauly, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, I want to make sure that you're doing this, man. And here's what I want to ask you. For those of you who have taken my advice and you've gone and you've bought a bottle of Evermore, or maybe a case of Evermore, you've been at the grocery store, you get the 4-pack of 64, you get the 24 packs of the 20-ounce bottles, whatever it may be. Do me a favor, snap a picture, tweet it, share it on Facebook, Instagram, tag me in it. I would love to share it. Because one of the things I'm hearing so much from our friends at Evermore is how many people are talking about having heard about the product on the show and are going out and buying it. So I'd love for you to validate that and help me out, put it out on social media. Bottom line is, if you want a healthier option for your family, for your children, it's Evermore. Maybe you're an athlete, you want a better source of hydration. This is natural artesian water. There is nothing added, nothing taken out. I would challenge you. Go look at some of the other bottled waters. Look at the fine print, things that are added or subtracted from that water. See, natural artesian water. It's Evermore.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.